Live from the basement of the Blue Tent in Kansas City, it's the Basement Benchwarmers Podcast.
Basement Benchwarmers Podcast, back in for another week. I'm Scott, here with Willie, Ed, and Eric. So let's start first, before getting the NFL and all your stuff this week, how everybody's week was. So let's start with the distinguished gentleman to my left, Willie.
Let's see what happened this last week. No, it was just a typical week. Nothing exciting, guys. Sorry, I got nothing for you.
Just talc and gin.
Talc and the smell of Metamucil and in the morning.
Typical week for Willie.
Yeah, who are you, John Rambo now? Ed, how was your week?
My weekend didn't go good, guys. I was thinking of getting my big trust tattoo removed after another playoff failure. I was just about to go under the laser, but then I changed my mind when I saw Lamar signing autographs for those people at the airport, you know. It's nice to see a player who realizes fans support his career and not corporations who use slave labor and then send all that money to politicians to gain more influence. I will proudly wear my big trust tattoo in 2021.
Like I said earlier, though, he probably thought they were Ravens fans because he did have a concussion. Eric.
It wasn't a pinched nerve.
We'll get to that.
It seems like January in Wisconsin during global pandemics, your weekends just start to repeat themselves and seem like they're the same. It was just kind of a boring weekend. But I did want to go back to my historical quotes. And on a serious note, here's my inspirational quote to start our show. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, Willie, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. So that is MLK.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
MLK's birthday, yep.
I was preparing to laugh, but that's...
Are you guys fired up now?
Yeah.
Willie's going to crawl?
Crawl, hell yeah.
Ed might walk. I don't know. Scott and I probably sprint.
Whoa.
If anybody's
Not as
seen
fast as Lamar, though. Maybe a concussed Lamar.
If anybody's seen our logo, Scott's not running anywhere.
Wow.
How was your week, Scott?
Fine.
Good weekend?
No, didn't do anything, like you said.
Yeah, they repeat.
Drove to Milwaukee and drove home.
That's why he's the best colorman in baseball, guys.
It took you the whole weekend to go to Milwaukee and back?
Yeah, traffic.
Yeah. Got to get rid of that scooter.
Had to go around all the blockades around the Capitol.
Oh, yeah.
In Milwaukee. Public schools.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
The Segway. Only had so many miles in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hoverboard.
That's right.
Kept running out of battery juice.
Right.
So on this week's show, Beer of the Week, Where Are They Now? A little shower stall from Ed. Also, fan poll this week is our favorite breakfast cereals. And our snake draft is best movie cameos. Also, we'll talk a little about the NBA and the trade with James Harden going to the Nets. And our picks for this week's NFL games. We'll break down, talk about the recaps of this past weekend's game in the divisional round. And we'll discuss, like we did last week, what teams that got knocked out can do next year to get back to where they were. Or this past weekend. Also,
that's a wrap.
Hot Stove Hop will be here. Talking a little about baseball. And let's start off tonight talking about the NBA and talking about James Harden going to the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm going to let Eric start off because he's kind of the NBA guy. So, Eric, what did you like and dislike about the James Harden trade to the Nets?
Well, I absolutely hate it because it makes the Nets a formidable opponent to the Bucks. And as we're recording, we're watching Brooklyn in Milwaukee, and they're up. It's 53-50, and Harden just scored. So I hate it, absolutely hate it. So I think the Bucks can still contend. Maybe that's me drinking the Kool-Aid, but this Brooklyn Nets team is going to be a tough competition as far as the playoffs goes, and I assume they'll both be in the playoffs. So,
yeah, I don't take anything away from the Bucks at this point. I mean, the Bucks are still the team. I think they're still a team to beat in the East until someone says different. The James Harden trade, I think, was a gut reaction for them to the Spencer Dinwiddie injury.
Yeah.
If Dinwiddie never got injured, I don't know if they would trade for Harden. Dinwiddie isn't Harden as a scorer, but Dinwiddie might be just as good as a player as Harden. Does that make sense to anybody?
No, I know
what
you're
I'm saying.
saying.
I mean, scoring-wise, Harden can score.
A team player.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
He's better for the team.
Yeah, Dinwiddie would cohabitate by Irving and Durant. But like I said, I mean, Durant didn't want to play with Harden years ago or vice versa. That's why he left, or Harden wanted to be his own guy. Now I think Harden figured out if I want to win, I got to play with guys like this. And I just feel bad for a city like Oklahoma, a place like Oklahoma City, just because they had a big three there.
Yeah. Right, they had such a good draft to get that.
Yeah, and also their other components like Steven Adams and who was the other guy on that team that has gone on and played Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, Serge Ibaka.
They had a
really solid,
a really good team,
and they drafted them all. It was like one year after another,
and then they all just ran away.
It was Durant, then it was Westbrook, then it was Harden.
So they took their lumps in Oklahoma City for years as fans and as an organization, and then when it comes time to kind of pay back and give us a chance to win a championship, they all just kind of took off.
Isn't it funny? I feel like those three guys, when they played with the Thunder, were still very, very likable. I mean, even just across all NBA fans were well respected, and all the different moves that these guys made. I feel like all three of them are kind of evil nowadays. I mean, Durant. Somebody was saying that Durant. Well, I mean, I think Durant's selfish. The move that he made to leave the Thunder and go to, you can't beat them, join them type of thing with the Warriors, and Harden crybaby crap that we dealt with this year, and him forcing his way out. Westbrook's just kind of I think a flake. And speaking of flakes, I think Kyrie is that's the component in this. I think that's going to probably mess things up because he's a loose cannon and he's a weirdo and he's not there. Where is he?
Oh, that's our next topic. He's Cocoa Puffs right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cereal.
That's a segue. Yeah. So the NBA also, Lakers are still playing well, and they're trying to add more pieces supposedly. So let's move on to our fan poll question, and our fan poll question was favorite breakfast cereal. And Willie, do you have some responses on your?
Actually, I did. I have quite a few. Actually, Ann Arneson says Captain Crunch, which is always a good one. Doesn't it always tear up the top of your mouth and stuff like that? As I recall, it's been a long time since I've had that one.
Captain Crunch.
No. Kenton Dose Megan said Honeycomb, which is like an old cereal. I remember
honeycombs weren't too bad.
Yeah, Raisin Bran and old standby Corn Flakes. Betty New Lucky Charms, which I like. That's a good one. Siren, Fruity, and Cocoa Pebbles at the same time. Ooh. I don't know about that one. Katie Tussler, Tricks and Fruit Loops. Jen Anderson, she likes the Golden Grams, good one. And Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks was always a favorite of mine.
Primo.
And Cinnamon Toast Crunch, she mentioned. Corey Tussler mentions O's.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I used to eat O's back in the day.
Yeah, okay.
Tony Galliardo says Frosted Flakes because they're great. And Mike Waltmeyer says Cocoa Puffs, which is always another solid one. I always like that was one of my faves.
That O's one so far is winning for me. That's in the way back club. Yep.
Okay, so you have any more?
Nope, that's it.
My first one I had was Molly Wilson. Oh, yeah. She had Crunch Berries. Captain Crunch Berries with berries.
Just the Crunch Berries?
Yep, Crunch Berries. Hop had Fruity Pebbles. Johnny B. Good had Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Captain Crunch. Mandy Cavelli had Fruit Loops. Linda Hansen had Oatmeal. Joe Cavelli said Malto Meal. Jenny Cavelli said Golden Grams. Jim Schmidt says steak and eggs. I hate breakfast cereal.
That's me right there.
Linda Digby said Cheerios, but only with a banana.
That's what she said.
That was great timing.
It was excellent.
Steve versions are Frosted Flakes. Sarah Sickmiller said Sickmiller Salmon said Crispex. Pam Wilson said Captain Crunchberry. Lynn Courtwright said multi-grain Cheerios, and Julie McMahon said Fruit Loops. So let's start with Willie. What would you pick as one or two of your favorites?
I'm going to tell you.
Start with the one, and we'll go around and throw some in after, yeah.
As a kid, it was a treat if we got the Lucky Charms. I like the Lucky Charms, They're magically delicious.
Why was it a treat? Oh, because it was sugary?
Sugary, yeah. Okay. We didn't get the sugar. Cheerios was our old standby.
As you became an adult, before you go on picking, you notice something about cereal. What do you notice about cereal when you get older?
Smaller boxes.
No, what do you notice about cereal? It's expensive.
Oh yeah. Really
expensive. Cereal's not cheap. First time I had to buy cereal, on my own, I walked in, I go, was there gold bars in that thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are we just eating steak every morning?
Yeah, steak and eggs. Jim was right.
But the boxes did get smaller.
Every morning.
But
it's way cheaper.
I couldn't believe how much it was. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's something when you become an adult.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid
Well,
stuff
not to
you
mention the
learn.
milk that you put it into is expensive these
Well,
days.
you get
too.
milk at Quick Trip for cheap.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's cheap
sorry,
now.
no. Okay.
Yeah, you're way out of touch living out there on a farm.
It will be expensive because we'll be shipping in from China soon. So, go ahead, Ed.
Goat milk and rat milk.
Rat milk. Come on.
Hey, rats have nipples. You can milk
Yeah.
them.
There's a Simpson episode where the school's buying their from the mob and then they're milking rats. Well, anyway, I was going to take biscuits and gravy because I'm not a big cereal fan either, but
Or one of Swaz fans burritos.
I do like Swaz burritos. They're good.
Yeah.
2 weeks left.
So I'm going to go with the cereal, Golden Grahams. I like Golden Grahams.
Jenny, you agree with Jenny on that one, right?
So you didn't let me chime in, though, with my people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have people. I'm
I
sorry.
have two people.
Go
I have
ahead.
two off the top of my head.
We could do it in post-edit.
10-year-old Charlotte Bradley,
Okay.
Frosted Flakes.
Nice.
8-year-old Logan Bradley, Cocoa Puffs.
Nice.
He's
So-
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
So I'm not a big cereal eater, too.
Why'd you give their ages so Ed would know not to stay away?
Yeah.
I think I got to stay away from everybody under 25 now.
Yeah,
It's
he's
weird.
got restraining orders for certain ages. I think it's even or odd. Is it even or odd numbers? I
No,
can't.
it's under 25 and over 68. It's
okay.
really weird.
All right.
He's on a no-fly list for kids.
And we already have the one with Willie, so we're we're okay.
That's for people over 80.
Yes. So I eat eggs most mornings, but if I do have cereal, I love chocolate checks and cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is decent.
Chocolate checks are great.
How about... Remember
Give me a weird look with the chocolate checks.
Just weird.
Okay.
I never had chocolate checks. So
Try them. They're great.
I'm a fan of Fiber One. I'm old. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to say
be.
Uncle
To be
Sam or
honest,
something.
Just put some prunes on that.
This was a weird question for me personally because it sounds like Ed and Eric are in the same boat as me. I maybe have one bowl of cereal a year. And it's like for a snack at night.
Yeah.
It's not even for breakfast because I'm not a big breakfast
It's like a
guy.
Jethro Bodine bowl.
Yeah, I'm not a big sugary guy in the morning. It's weird. Like I even like a donut. I'm kind of like. Eh.
Do you eat eggs and stuff in the morning?
I like to have a biscuit or something like that, like frozen biscuits with sausage, which I'm.
Lucky Charms are good for a bowl at night, just to eat them like out of the handful.
But I am a fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Golden Grahams, and what'd you say, Willie? Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
So all three of them. And remember when you were younger, they had the cereal, the A Team.
oh, yeah.
I remember the A-team.
Yeah, we were poor. We didn't get that. We got the B team.
And Count Chocolate too. Count
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Count Chocolate.
I hate
Nice.
anything fruity. Pebbles, Fruit Loops. I don't like the taste
Yeah,
of
I'm
that.
not a big fan of those.
You know what the ones I don't like is if you ever stay in a hotel as much as I have over the last 20 years, Fruit Loops.
Yeah, those
it's-
are rough.
it's
And
all
those
they
are
have
always
there.
continental breakfast.
Oh, that and
The kids like them. They figure kids will eat
that
it.
big frickin' waffle. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
awful.
they're actually called Fruity O's at the hotel.
Yeah.
not
Because
Loops.
you don't get the good stuff.
And the marshmallow Matios.
The greatest trick you can play on your kids, little fun fact, this is the Pinterest fact of the day from the Benchwarmers, is buy the bag and dump in a box of the real stuff and the kids will never know.
That's right.
So,
Our parents used to do it.
yeah, they did it.
Do you remember like when
No, our parents just made us eat it.
Yeah, white box with black letters on it. Eat this shit.
Eat your malto meal.
Do you remember when you used to get like the package of little boxes of cereal where you had the mix of different ones?
Yeah,
you
you
mix them?
You could pour
No,
the
you
milk
mix
right
them.
into the box.
You can put it right in the box here.
Oh,
but it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
like 12 little mini boxes so you could
Sure.
get what you wanted.
Oh, yeah, those are the best.
Yeah.
You could change every day, you could do something different.
yeah.
Those were great for camping trips and stuff. I remember those.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, good question.
Good times.
yeah. So that was a good question. Willie thought of that this week.
Willie, you're a big cereal eater, it seems like. Every day?
No, I don't eat cereal at all, but I used to.
Yeah.
It cracks his teeth.
The false ones?
Eats the tapioca at
his wooden teeth.
eats the tapioca at Quick Trip on the way out every
That's
day.
right.
Wait, Willie has teeth?
What are you talking about here, boy?
Sonny.
Happening here.
So real quick, I got a question for you guys, a trivia question. This player, his 10th at bat in his career, he got a base hit, and never batted below 300 again. You're listening to the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. Check us out on Facebook at Basement Benchwarmers, also on Instagram at Basement Benchwarmers, and on Twitter at Base Benchwarmers, and our email is basementbenchwarmers@gmail.com. So the question was, his 10th at bat in his major league career, he singled to center field, got a base hit, never batted below 300 ever again. Eric wanted the answers. Go ahead, Eric.
That would be Ichiro.
That was Ichiro Suzuki. Yes. Good answer.
Oh, that was his last name? Suzuki?
Ichiro Suzuki, wasn't it?
Ichiro.
Yeah.
Ichiro. Yes.
Ichiro. He was always my number one pick in fantasy for like 3 years. For 3 years running, and my teams were always okay. My pitching was always terrible. But I always got Ichiro and Miguel Cabrera for some. I don't know how I got them, but I would get them every year.
And did you
And
win?
that's when they were good. 1 year I think I did, but the other 2 years I didn't. But they were good. They were good players. It wasn't like I was picking guys. They were solid. I mean,
The rest of his draft was horrible.
yeah. I lived for the guys above. I don't pay attention.
He was a 5-round draft guy.
Yeah, that's
After
it.
that, he was just
I just bought one index card and once it
one
was done.
index card.
Yeah.
5x9.
So since we're just talking about Ichiro, let's bring in our man on the street, Hot Stove Hop.
It's time for Hot Stove Hop. Hot Stove Hop. Hot Stove Hop. It's time.
So it's time for Hot Stove Hop. How are you today?
I'm good. I still think I have the best intro. Willie's is done.
So Hop, anything? What do you want to start with tonight? Baseball related, obviously. What do you want to talk about?
Let's start with the Padres. They've pushed all in. They traded for Musgrove from the Pirates. They gave up 4 prospects. They sent Lucchese to the Mets, and the Mets kicked in some minor league catcher from Class A ball. So the Padres have 5 legit major league starters plus 3 young guys who can probably jump in and start too.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show, and that's the first thing we said. That it sounds like they're pretty much all in the Padres. They ain't messing around. They got to keep up with the Dodgers, obviously. Yeah. And
But it sounds like maybe LeMay might not be back right away then if they're picking up another starting pitcher. Would you say that?
They still got LeMay in there, listed in the rotation. But, I mean, when you have Weathers and Mackenzie Gore that they could dump in there, Ed, I mean, they're 7 deep at least. So they're injury-proof, and that doesn't even include Clevenger, who's coming off of TJ surgery.
Yeah, and they still have, is it more Johns? I believe like they're 5 or 6 now.
Man, after the first 5, I can't tell you. I can only tell you the prospect.
They've got quite a bit of talent now. I mean, you look, too, now the Mets are adding Lucchese, so they're like 6 deep in the starting rotation.
Yeah, and they're not even counting on Syndergaard this year.
Yeah.
They're counting on Lucchese and Lugo to probably be swingmen into the bullpen and out of the bullpen, or into the starting rotation.
so let's move to the Cubs East and the Nationals. What they decided to do in the last couple of days. What are your feelings about Lester and Schwarber?
I mean, Schwarber will be fine. You guys have discussed Schwarber quite a bit. He is what he is. I think he's going to be a 250 hitter with the potential to hit 30 bombs. Gives him a left-handed bat in that outfield. From there, I think, Schwarber is what he is. He's a young player. Lester gives him another veteran in that rotation. He'll probably be a number 5 starter. So there's not a ton of pressure on Lester. I think it's a good move for him. Win 13 games. He made every start last year, even if he didn't last, past 5 or 6 innings. But having somebody who can throw 180 innings, 170 innings is a good signing for the Nationals. Don't forget they have Davey Martinez, too, the former Cubs bench coach.
Here's something I want to know about. What do you think of the new things they did last year? The DH, the free runner and extra innings, and the 7-inning doubleheaders. Do you think any of those will stick?
I'm all for the universal DH. As much as I like watching a pitcher occasionally knock one out of the park, I'd rather see the DH. I have seen some interesting proposals about the DH in the National League where somebody proposed where they would get it for until the starting pitcher was in, and then when the relief pitcher came in, it would still allow that double switch type of thing. So they would lose the DH at that point. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you'll just keep the rules the same. 7-inning doubleheaders was awesome to watch last year because it just kept the game flowing, and they usually played back to back. So it was really, I like the 7-inning doubleheader. I hate the guy on second. I'd probably say maybe like the 10th or 11th inning, throw that guy on second, so you don't end up with 14 or 15 inning game.
Yeah, Hop, I agree with you on that. It shouldn't go right to that guy on second. Give him a couple innings before. And I love the 7-inning doubleheaders like back in college and high school.
Yeah, the 7-inning doubleheader was awesome last year.
I did see something, though. They actually did talk about that right on IMB, and they're actually pushing toward the 7-inning, and I believe they call it the California rule, correct?
Yes.
The man on second.
Yeah.
California always trying to do shit. Shady shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've ruined everything.
Well, going back to the DH, Hop, tell me if you think there's any market for this guy. Now, I think you'll be able to guess who he is. A right-hander, 296 career average, 352 home runs, 37-year-old Ryan Braun. Any market there? I mean, from what I hear is that they're not going to do the DH universal this year. Is that correct?
They're dragging on it. I think MLB wants it, but I don't think the Players Association wants it. So they're dragging on it, and they're holding all these free agent outfielders. Your Rosarios, Schwarber was able to sign, Braun, guys like that. They're holding them hostage because it leads only to one league. Braun, I think Braun will have a market. I don't think he's going to be in the price range that he was making with the Brewers. I think he's going to end up having to close his career out just because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just the outfield. I mean, look at last year. Even in 60 games, he just couldn't stay healthy, and they had the DH where they could rest him.
And he wanted to end his career out in California, and it doesn't look like that's happening. I mean, as far as the market goes,
I mean, why not throw him on the Angels? They like to pay for overpriced guys, but he would have to play the outfield for the Angels.
That's what I was thinking.
They have Pujols and Ohtani there. And I don't see Ohtani moving back to the outfield.
Braun should be signed with the Cubs because he hit the crap out of Wrigley Field.
Exactly. Well, if they have a DH, universal DH, then why not?
Well, I don't understand the players union part of that. It makes no sense because obviously, if I look at it, maybe I'm missing something here. But when you have a DH, it creates more jobs in Major League Baseball. So you have 15 more teams, 15 more spots, batters involved in baseball. So it's kind of a weird. Players union are kind of sitting there going, "We don't want it." I don't understand the concept there. Maybe I'm missing something there.
I don't think that they don't want it, Scott. I think they want. So everything's a negotiation, right?
Yeah.
If they get the universal DH, they might want something else. They might want 2 more off days
or pork in that bill
or travel days. Yeah. That's what I'm hearing about the universal DH because it will drive salaries up. I mean, you're going to have.
That's true.
You can have a 35-year-old outfielder who can't play the outfield or first baseman. You can
Ryan Braun
still mash the ball, but play DH.
Yeah, Ryan Braun.
They just want a good negotiation with it. So that's what it came down to last year. That's why they only ended up with 60 games. They could have probably played a lot more.
Hey, Hop, you want to tell me why the Blue Jays and the White Sox seem to be in on every free agent, but they still have to pay. They still have to pay a premium. Like the small town teams like the Twins. Why is that?
That's a good question. I was you and I were texting about it, weren't we, Ed?
Yeah, I kind of set you up there, huh?
Yeah.
Hit that one off the tee.
Well, we were talking about more so like the Yankees being able to pay and not have to throw in the extra year, the extra $10 million. I mean, the Twins had to do it with Donaldson last year. They thought he was going back to the Braves for something similar to what the Twins signed him for, but he had to go, I think they signed him for 4 years, like $65 million, which was $10 million over. I've heard Toronto this year in particular, because they don't know if they're going to play Toronto or Buffalo, is why they can't get free agents. And the White Sox, I think they're just they're the stepchild. They have to overpay because I don't know if many people trust Reinsdorf or Kenny Williams.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Another point with the Jays, though, they have a high tax rate because you're playing in Canada. Those guys get hammered on taxes because they're leaving the country. But if they're playing in Buffalo, that would actually lower their tax rate. Mm-hmm. So
it would, but the Angels and the Dodgers have no problem signing players.
Yeah,
I mean,
in
California.
And California is not exactly a tax-exempt state like Texas.
Texas and Florida.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to play for the Rays.
The last question I got for you is about the international draft happened this week, and the Cespedes was signed by the White Sox, and the Cubs ended up getting, I believe it was
Hernandez.
Christian Hernandez. Yes, that was the guy that got best number 1 rated shortstop. Correct? We were talking. in
Yeah,
international.
17-year-old.
So I kind of had those two guys kind of pinpointed. What do you think about those two guys? What have you seen or heard about them? I read about both, but what is your opinion on both those guys for the White Sox and Cubs?
Jonas Cespedes is coming back?
No, I believe it's his brother.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's his half-brother, Euclid, or I don't know how to say it.
Let me see. I got it right here.
Eucalyptus.
He's a little older, too. He's, I want to say, 23.
He's probably 66.
Daniel Monte.
Yeah,
He's got a mustache
I'll find his
since he
name
was
here.
a
But,
10-year-old.
Oh, yeah, Yolqua Cespedes, something like that. So,
Easy for you to say.
yeah, I guess. So, yeah, what do you think about those two? Or what have you heard or anything?
I haven't really heard much about the international guys. I look at it this way. I mean, you're signing 16 and 17-year-olds. It's no different than when you're drafting an 18-year-old kid coming out of high school. They got to progress through the minor league system and still show that they want to work hard at it. I mean, you can look at all the international flameouts that end up on the Rule 5 draft, et cetera. I think the Twins just had one. I can't remember, a shortstop, Wander Javier. And he flamed out. They signed him as a 16-year-old, and I think he was the number 3 ranked shortstop coming from the international. You get very few Vlad Guerreros or Vlad Juniors,
Yeah.
who jump and still stay after it. They're like all prospects, man. Prospects are prospects, and most of them become suspects.
Well, I think it's beneficial for a team to. I mean, they have these guys in their camps already. Most of these guys, they know these players pretty well. If they can pump up a 16 or 17-year-old right now, they're like gold coins right now. If you can trade whoever this guy is, Hernandez from the Cubs, and get back a quality player for him, and like you said, they're just prospects. But if the higher they can pump them up, the more they're worth too. You know.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Was Javi an international signing guy? Javi Baez?
No, he was signed in regular draft.
Yeah, he was drafted, yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I wasn't sure of that part of it.
So I have one more question for you, Go, and this is not baseball related, but who are your picks for the AFC and NFC championship game?
I'm sticking with Tampa Bay just because it's Brady, and I want to see him get a 7th ring. Sorry, Eric.
Hey, you're entitled to your opinion.
And then I'm going with the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs-Bills is going to be a really close game. Both of those teams look really good, and I think Mahomes will be healthy.
Yeah, went from a concussion to a pinched nerve, so...
He was concussed. He was concussed. He couldn't even stand up.
It's pinched nerve, man. It's the NFL, man.
It was a sciatica. It went all the way down.
He'll be there. He'll be playing.
Yeah.
Willie,
Okay.
he had wobblier legs than you do.
After Sunnyside.
After driving home without me in the car. So, Hop, thanks a lot for coming by and talking to us tonight. Obviously, be in touch as the year keeps going. Thanks a lot, and have a good night, buddy.
Talk to you later,
You
Hop.
guys have a good one.
Thanks,
Stay
Hop.
easy up.
So that was Hot Stove Hop giving us his look on baseball. So yeah, made some good points there. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting baseball year. I think I can't wait to get it back to normal.
Do you think they'll start on time this year?
April 1st? That's their plan. They're not, and the commissioner said they sent a memo out on the 1st, and that's why they're pushing for those 7-inning doubleheaders, because if it happens like last year, they're gonna be able to move stuff around. That's why I believe why they're doing it, because nobody ever plans for doubleheaders in a normal year. They just don't do it.
I understand the money aspect of it. That's why they went to these stupid day-night doubleheaders. When I was a kid, I remember going to the Brewers game and catching Brewers Yankees. It was on Sunday every time.
Yep.
You get a doubleheader, and
Back to back, 20 minutes to half an hour
Yep.
apart. They
Yep.
started.
I remember going
was
to Tiger
awesome.
baseball games. When I was
The
a kid.
whole day.
Yeah, go Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, you went the whole day. I think that would be even better for baseball now that you don't really have baseball cards like we used to get for a quarter with shitty gum in there.
Yeah.
And it's something that would help the game. I guarantee it. 2 7-inning games on a weekend. Do it every weekend. They used to do it back in the old days. That was every week, every Sunday.
And they were 9-inning games, correct?
Yeah, they played 9 innings.
they're
I'd love to see them
normals.
go to 7s on a Sunday. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
So-
So this week's Snake Draft was best movie cameos, and we decided it could be a cameo of they can play themselves, or it could just be they're playing a character, but it's a short bit part in the movie. So we're going to start with Willie as usual. Willie's first pick is right here.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar.
You better relax, Bob.
There is no way that you could have been as bad at hockey as you are at golf.
All right, let's go.
You like that, old man?
You want a piece of me?
I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby.
The price is wrong, bitch.
I think you've had enough. No? Now you've had enough, bitch.
That would be Bob Barker. The Price is Right. So, remember to spay and neuter your animals too.
I think the price is all wrong, Willie.
But that was a great cameo there.
I love that when we do the clips because they speak to themselves. You don't gotta talk.
Yep.
About
Right,
To say much, yeah.
it. And this is Ed's first pick.
My name is Thurgood. Hi. Hi. I'm here today because I'm addicted to marijuana.
You in here for some marijuana? Marijuana? Man, this is some bullshit.
Marijuana is not a drug. I used to suck dick for coke.
I seen him.
Now that's an addiction, man. You ever suck some dick for marijuana?
Huh?
No, I can't say I have.
I didn't think so.
That's great.
And of course, that's Mr. Video himself, Bob Saget. And anybody who's actually been to see his comedy shows, he's way worse than that. But
It was.
and it was in Half Baked.
Yeah, I've seen better free ticket comedy shows than that thing I
Yeah.
paid for. Man, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was bad. But it was all shock. But
Did you learn any new words?
the best part of that whole thing, I think, is I think it's D.L. Hughley is like, he's like, you ever, and he goes, I seen him.
I see him. That was D.L. Hughley? Is that who that was?
I think it
great.
is.
No, I think what it might have been.
I think
Yeah,
it might have been.
Yeah, yep.
I'm not sure, but that's what I thought.
You might be
great.
right on that, yeah. Okay, so this is Eric's.
You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
Chaz, I think I'm okay. I had a bite right before I came over. Thank you.
You sure? You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf. You want some? Yes. I knew you'd come. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf! What is she doing? I never know what she's doing back there. Ma! The meatloaf!
Obviously, that is Will Ferrell playing Chaz Reinhold in the movie Wedding Crashers. And just so you know, grief is nature's ultimate aphrodisiac, and the chicks are crazy horny at funerals. Crazy horny.
Okay, so okie dokie. So my first pick is here we go.
Oh, this is a
Yep.
Come on. Do we need a musical? Hey! Shh! Don't make any sudden movements. Who the hell are you?
Oh, who the hell are you? Quiet.
Mike Tyson? This is my favorite part coming up right now. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Of course, my guy. But I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. One more time, guys. Oh, Lord. Oh, jeez. Why did you do that?
So that was Mike Tyson in The Hangover, and yeah, it was pretty. That's one of the funniest scenes in the movie when he does the fake air drums, and it's pretty crazy. And then the whole scene about talking about a tiger and going to get
It sings with a Mike
awesome.
Tyson lisp.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What,
I mean,
isn't Bradley Cooper say he still got it?
yeah, he does.
The best is the Ed Helms on the piano after that singing the song about everything that just happened.
Yeah. So my second pick on the way back is going to be Matt Damon in the movie Euro Trip.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, when he sings this song, Scotty doesn't know because he's banging Scotty's girlfriend. And it is awesome, and I was going to play the song, and I didn't, and I should have, and it was pretty funny. Maybe I'll play it. It'll be the outro tonight.
There we go.
Scotty doesn't know, you'll hear on the way out. And so you can hear the song. It is based on... he's a punk rock dude, tattooed up. If you've never seen it, it's just hilarious. Matt Damon has done a lot of funny cameos and things. He's he plays along with things very well. He's a pretty funny guy. So that's my second one. Euro Trip. Matt Damon as the crazy guy that stole Scotty's girlfriend. So,
well, mine is from the movie Pulp Fiction, where Christopher Walken comes in to give a young Bruce Willis's character the watch from his father that he held in his uncomfortable innards for... You're going to play it, Ed?
I've got it.
Okay, here we go.
It's on your daddy's wrist when he was shot down at Hanoi. He was captured, put in a Vietnamese prison camp. He knew that if the gooks ever saw the watch, it'd be confiscated, taken away. The way your dad looked at it, this watch was your birthright. You'd be damned if any slope's going to put the greasy yellow hands on his boy's birthright, so he hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch, up his ass. Then he died of dysentery. He gave me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years.
And I give you this watch. It's hilarious because then it goes into the whole scene where his girlfriend left it at the apartment and he has to go back to get it. It was on the kangaroo, the little kangaroo. You know, his little thing where he has all his jewelry. That's where he had to go. No, I told you it was on the fucking kangaroo. Because I told you one fucking thing. You could have fucked up the whole other list, but just that watch. Great scene, great movie. And great cameo by Christopher Walken.
All right. I've got another one.
Excuse me, are you Neil Patrick Harris?
Yep.
Oh my god, what are you doing here?
Holy shit. Dude, Doogie Howser MD was like my favorite truck growing up. You were my idol.
Yeah, that's great. Can we get going? I'm bored as shit back here.
Let's go. It's a freaking boring spot. So I gotta ask you, Neil, did you ever get it on with Wanda off the set?
Dude, I humped every piece of ass ever on that show.
Even the chick who played the hot nurse?
No. I didn't go all the way with her.
Neil, you wouldn't happen to know how to get on the highway from here, would you?
Dude, I don't even know where the fuck I am right now. I was at this party earlier tonight and some guy hooked me up with this incredible ex, and next thing I know I'm being thrown out of a moving car. I've been tripping balls ever since.
That's crazy, dude. You know, we've been having a pretty crazy night, too. We've just been driving around looking for White Castle, but we keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah, dude, you fascinate me. Forget White Castle. Let's go get some pussy.
Huh?
It's a fucking sausage fest in here, bros. Let's get us some poontang, then we'll go to White Castle.
No, Neil, you don't understand. We've been craving these burgers all night.
Yeah, I've been craving burgers, too. Fur burgers. Come on, dudes. Let's pick up some trim at a strip club. The Doogie line always works on strippers. Lap dance.
Of course, it's Neil Patrick Harris and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
That's awesome.
And you got to remember, too, this is way before he played Barney on How I Met Your Mother, so he was just Doogie Howser at this time, and this was kind of his rebirth as a, I guess, dramatic actor? I don't know what you'd call that.
Really playing a dual role there, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
My pick is, I don't know if you guys realize this, but did you know that Mike Myers was in Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was like the, was he a producer?
He was the EMI executive producer, Ray Foster. Mm-hmm. And his line was, no one's going to be headbanging in the car to Bohemian Rhapsody, which was actually making a reference to the scene in Wayne's World where his character famously does, in fact, headbang in the car to the Bohemian Rhapsody. So
yeah, that's classic.
That's a good one there. I mean, you had to look twice. In fact, when I saw the credits there, I had to go back and find it. Because I guess it was late at night or I wasn't paying attention or something. So
it was like 6.
Paying attention.
He had some warm milk and he dozed off.
It was 4 hours after dinner.
Yeah. It was. I was watching these movies the other night, and what about Stan Lee and all the Marvel movies?
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah. So I mean, you always catch him there somewhere and another, but he's kind of like Well, who was the famous producer?
Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock, yeah.
Well,
that's right.
Didn't and Scorsese did that with his mother was in most of his movies.
Scorsese was actually in Taxi Driver.
He was in Taxi Driver,
I believe so, yeah.
But he put his mother in a lot of his movies. She was the if you remember the Goodfellas scene where they're at the table and they're eating pasta and why don't you get a girl? I get a good girl every night. What are you talking about, Mom? That's Martin Scorsese's mother.
Then Rob Reiner, wasn't that the lady that said in the Sleepless in Seattle? Or when Harry Met Sally? I'll have what she's having. That was Rob Reiner's mom.
Oh, really?
I believe so. Yeah.
That says it about when she has the little.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Rob Reiner was director. Whoever the director was, it was.
It was Meathead. Yeah,
Meathead.
Not you stole my Christopher Walken one.
Sorry, dude.
But that was a great one.
We could have talked before.
More cowbell.
So I got Bill Murray in Zombieland. You remember that? They break into his house and they're like, "Oh, it's Bill Murray's house," and then he's walking around as a zombie, and they end up shooting him because he was in disguise as a zombie. He was actually really a normal person. And that role was originally made for Patrick Swayze.
Wow!
But he was dying at the time, so they brought in Bill Murray.
Wow!
That's a difference of.
Yeah, it just took the air out of the room.
Yeah, well, that's two different personalities there a little bit.
Patrick Swayze was a hunk.
Yeah. He'd look good, though.
And Bill Murray, not so much.
He's a really good Chippendale dancer, as I recall.
Yes, he was. He won. He won the battle.
Barney should have won that,
Barney should have won. That's much
Barney.
bullshit.
So mine is, this is a little bit of a darker movie, but I think, some people will know what it is. Glengarry Glen Ross. And so Alec Baldwin comes in, and he's the head guy from corporate that's coming in to present the the sales contest, and it's just a lot of third place is you're fired, and coffee is for closers and all this hardcore stuff, and it's just a great scene. It's a classic 10 minutes of just I don't know, just it's funny, it's hilarious.
So my next one's gonna be. I actually got a clip from this dude, so I'm gonna play it. I don't even know what it is. We're gonna play it.
But if you think you can poach my client, $50 million, all you know, see Simple Jack again because we kill him.
This is the last horseman. Who is this?
This is Flaming Dragon!
Okay, Flaming Dragon. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up!
Still going.
Did you find out who that was?
Yeah. Go.
You want to find out who that was? Tom Cruise playing the producer, Les. I had the name Les something it was, but hilarious because he's just a bald old fat man, and the whole movie he's angry like the whole movie. It's hilarious.
Tropic Thunder, right?
Yeah. Tropic Thunder.
Tom Cruise and
great movie.
That's
very underrated.
That's one of the funniest dudes that's a great movie actually. Yeah. From top to bottom, it's a great movie.
Jack Black.
My last one is going to be a bunch of cameos from a fight scene in Anchorman 2. So we have Kanye West, who comes down as an MTV news reporter during the fight. We have Liam Neeson, who's from the History Channel. He comes down to the fight. Jim Carrey's from Canadian News Network. And this is the big gang fight. You guys only had the big network gang fight. You're not a fan of this movie,
It's awful.
It's a great movie. It really is. Kirsten Dunst, she is an angel who blows the horn to start the gang fight. Vince Vaughn was from the rival Channel 9 News. We had Sacha Baron Cohen, who was from the BBC. Will Smith was also in it. He was the head of another network. It doesn't say what he was from. I don't know what network. And then Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were from an entertainment news network and also in the fight. And also another cameo in that movie was Harrison Ford. He was the producer in the beginning and end, and at the end he actually fires Ron Burgundy and hires his wife. So Harrison Ford was actually in the movie too. He's the gruff network chief, and he's both the beginning and end. And at the outset, he fires Burgundy while promoting his wife Veronica.
That's something.
That's a
classic.
A lot of cameos. So that's all I have for you guys.
So I get one more here, right, Ed?
Yeah, you're at 5.
I'm at 5 already. Okay.
Tom Seaver was never in the movie, so let's see who he picks.
So here's.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
So I think the quote is: "You tried dragging Walton and Lanier down the court for 30 minutes."
You stole another one of mine.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the movie Airplane. I don't know if he was Roger, over, under,
Roger,
Vector, Victor. I can't remember. He was Roger. Right?
Roger.
What's your Victor, Victor?
You tried dragging Walton and Lanier down the court. I got one that's kind of off the wall, too, is Alanis Morissette in Dogma, where she plays God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It was pretty good. On was that the old like Jay and Silent Bob guys?
Yeah. I think they're making another movie I saw.
Well,
yeah.
It's been, 30 years? Might as well.
Has it really been that long?
I don't know. It's been a long time.
They're all skinny and off drugs or something.
Yeah. Fuck that, then.
They're no good now.
No, it's funny when you do that.
No.
So I got the last one here. I'm telling you what, I'm going to go with Deadpool 2. Brad Pitt.
Yes, Brad Pitt. Yep, great call.
As the superhero named the Vanquisher, whose superpower is invisibility, obviously, until he gets electrocuted, and then his face is revealed like for a second and a half.
Yeah, he dies right away.
Yeah,
he's like
boom.
the first one of his crew he puts together. Because he's invisible, he flies in the power line.
Oh, jeez. There he goes. That was just done the other night. It's such a funny movie.
Yeah, Deadpool's one of the best Marvels, hands down.
I have never seen either one. I need to.
Oh, you do.
Really? Watch with the kids.
Yeah, the first one's excellent. The second one's
if you think Logan thinks Ed says naughty words, wait till you see Deadpool.
Dude, the best is the starting when it's all in slow motion, and then like it's amazing.
Yeah,
actually.
just some of the stuff like their like credits are weird.
Oh,
He once in a while like look at the camera and like talk to the camera.
He talks to the camera. Yeah,
And he
all
makes
the
fun.
time.
He'll like say something like, "And Ryan Reynolds would have played this better," or something like.
Yeah.
He'll say stuff like that, and it's
that's cool.
Pretty insane. The movie.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
You know when he just said who just got killed right off the bat in the one?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. There was one of the Steven Seagal was in one. I can't remember. It was like one of the Air Force Ones or whatever. He's like and he's killed instantly. It's like 3 minutes into the movie, you know.
Really?
I can't
Seagal
remember.
of all people.
Yeah, because he was like a special forces guy, and he gets killed. You know, you're like, oh, he's going to be in this movie. No, he's dead.
And it was one of the Grisham. Like
I think it is.
Okay, I don't know.
When he said that, I thought the same thing right off the bat.
I mean, Favre in Something About Mary, which is it's so funny because Favre. He when he did that role, he's like, "What the hell is this?" And he was almost embarrassed to go to the screening because he went with his wife and his daughter at the time. He's like, "Oh man."
It's the most embarrassing thing he's ever done.
Yeah, exactly. Turned out to be such a kind of a goofy classic role.
Yeah, that was edited way better than his other video.
Yeah. What the hell's Brett Favre doing here?
Brett Favre.
I got another one. You guys remember Creep Show back in the 80s? And there's some like hillbilly out in the woods living in his cabin. The meteor hits, and he goes out there, and there's like green ooze pouring out. He puts his fingers in. He's like, meteor shit. Stephen King.
No shit.
Oh yeah, yes.
Actually, when I'm thinking about it, Blues Brothers. Steven Spielberg is the Cook County, the guy that takes the money. I can't think of what the heck he's called. When they're sitting outside the office and the music's just playing, they're waiting to get in, and there's like 14 million cops coming up the stairs.
Yeah.
It's Spielberg.
I just thought of, now that we're talking about directors being cameos in their own movies, I just thought about Pulp Fiction with Tarantino. The scene where they come and they're the whole coffee thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we should play that on Martin Luther King Day.
We can't play that, but that is one of the funniest scenes in that movie. It's just like, and the whole thing with the coffee too. It's like everybody has to make a comment about the coffee. Because his wife buys crap and he has to go and buy the gourmet. This is some gourmet shit. Jimmy. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about Deadpool 2. How about Matt Damon? He was in there. He was the redneck with a funny nose and beer belly. His name was Dickie Greenleaf.
Great name,
Dickie Greenleaf.
Snoop Dogg. Right there. Snoop Dogg in Old School.
Yeah, but
he played at the party. Snoop Dogg played in Old School at the party.
Wait, you think I'm going to get some college alt band to play my...
You said directors in movies. Wes Craven was the janitor in Scary Movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes,
that's
he
cool.
was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, wasn't Scary Movie, wasn't it Drew Barrymore or something get killed right off
At
the bat?
the beginning, it was Carmen Electra and Pamela... Well, it might have been the funny Scary Movie, which was...
Or was that the one I can't...
No, Scary Movie, actually. I'm sorry. It would be Scream.
Scream.
Okay.
But Wes Craven was in Scary Movie.
Oh, okay.
Which was the
and he's
parody.
The Scream.
He's a Scream director.
Yeah, it was the parody
and Scary Movie was Pamela Anderson at the beginning with Carmen Electra playing it. And then, but the other movie might have had two different... But I don't think it was... I don't know who it was in Scream. In Scary Movie.
We got another one here. And this one is going to be controversial because they're talking about pulling him out of the movie 30 years later. Donald Trump in Home Alone 2.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Because, you can't have the, President of the United States in a movie. I think that's...
He's in it for literally...
We got to censor it.
He actually... all he does is gives Macaulay Culkin directions to go...
Yeah.
I think Macaulay asked him, where's this? And he goes... that way. That's all he says to him.
So Macaulay's upset about him being in the movie 30 years later, but he has no problem with Michael Jackson raping him. Jesus Christ. Think about that.
Everybody get in the shower.
It just popped into my head,
Yeah.
Boy.
That was Michael Jackson's old joke. Remember he used to blow bubbles?
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking for you.
Yeah.
That was his monkey.
On that note.
Let's, well, it's on that note.
Everybody into the shower! Anybody in the shower in 10 seconds gonna get fined $100! Larry!
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi,
Get in
5
there.
Mississippi,
Hurry it up.
6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi.
Okay, guys, here we go again. I saw that the Browns nominated Myles Garrett for the NFL Man of the Year. Wait a second. Isn't he the guy who went insane last year and attacked a skinny white guy with his helmet? He then lied and said the white guy slurred him racially? Yeah, that's the same Myles Garrett. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player. But seriously, Man of the Year? I thought that award was reserved for players who set a high standard and haven't assaulted someone and then perpetrated a hate crime hoax in the last year. And if you've been in a coma the last 20 years, these outlandish acts of violence are not outliers either. Currently, 2018 Walter Payton Man of the Year, Von Miller is under an investigation in Denver. Although few details are presently available, rest assured, the NFL Man of the Year is held to much lower standards than other Men of the Year in civilized societies.
Once again, express written consent of eventual. Yeah,
I don't know.
So what did Miller do? I think I missed that.
They don't know. They're not telling anybody.
They won't tell anybody.
Oh.
He's under investigation. And he's, again, it's a slur to Walter Payton, who was a great man.
Mm-hmm.
These two guys are up for it. Myles Garrett, he was just
Yeah,
beating somebody with a helmet last year.
Well, he learned a different way, and I guess he went up and he sought that guy out and apologized to him.
Was that Rudolph?
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph? Yeah.
No, the Red News Rain.
It was a foggy night.
Well,
he couldn't see him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, good. The next time I punch somebody in line at a McDonald's, I'll say, "Well, but I'm
the next time is this happen all the time?
Yeah, they short me on ketchup again.
Oh, jeez.
What a better guy now.
Wow.
I asked for 2 sauces.
I was going to say 2 sausages. That's what I said. So let's move on to Willie. Are you want to do a little Where Are They Now, maybe?
I can do that. Willie.
Where are they now?
Willie.
Where are they now?
Willie.
Where are they now?
This guy right here, he's a running back. He was born in 1986, so it'd make him what now?
36, 37.
Like that. Born in Arkansas, 6'2", 250 pounds. He was in the 2008 draft. He was a round 7, pick 227.
What year draft? I'm sorry.
2008.
Okay.
He played for these teams. I'm not going to give you the order they played for, but he played for the Giants, the Bucks, the Browns, the Chiefs. One interesting thing about him, he was on the cover of Madden. Okay?
Oh, I know.
And he also suffered one of, the Madden curse as well. Think of his name.
I'm sorry. What teams did he play for again?
He was more prevalent as a Brown.
Okay.
Okay, but he played the Giants, Bucks, Chiefs, Browns.
Oh my God! I just had his name at the tip of my tongue, and now it's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing he had on the tip of his tongue.
Hillis.
Peyton
Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
Yep,
You go
there we
with
go.
it, yeah.
Good job, Eric.
Where is he now, Willie?
Where is he now?
Yeah.
Peyton Hillis lives in Arkansas. Go figure, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And he also has a podcast. It's called In the Backfield.
And right now he's talking about us.
It could be.
On his podcast.
And then he retired in 2015 because of his history of concussions.
Mm-hmm.
But they live on a 1,300 acre soybean farm, and he just recently bought a towing company.
Oh, wow.
Nice. See, now that's interesting.
Did he go to Arkansas?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he sure did.
Do they have any cattle?
Nope. As far as I know, he doesn't have any cattle, but I tell you what, the one thing, his best game, and you guys will like this because it talks about a friend of a show, he recorded his first 100-yard rushing game with 129 yards and a touchdown on 22 attempts in a 34-17 road victory over the New York Jets. His performance earned Hillis multiple honors, including being named the Diet Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Week, as well as the FedEx Ground Player of the Week, alongside Broncos quarterback, friend of the show, Jay Cutler, who was named NFL Air Player of the Week. So that was his best game he had with the Broncos. So
Air Player? Is that what it said?
Yeah, NFL Air Player of the Week.
Ground and air.
I think Peyton Hillis is more of
weird.
a friend of the show than Jay Cutler.
Not even close.
No.
And we couldn't barely remember his name.
It didn't say Peyton Hillis had chickens, did it?
Nope. He has soybean.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I asked if he had cattle, because that's cool.
He don't have cattle, though.
Some Longhorns.
So his career, he had 26 career touchdowns and one 1,000-yard season. That year that it was like a fan vote. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
Year,
and he was hyped. He was a hyped up player after that one
big
season.
time. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Because did he come on late?
So he's the most bizarre cover star for that.
Yeah.
So before we get to the NFL, let's talk a little about college basketball. It's kind of ramping up. Willie, what do you got for us on that?
We got something that's really kind of crazy here. Today's poll is
That's what she said.
He said poll.
1,213th AP poll in history, and it's just the 14th time that Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina are all unranked.
Wow.
The last time this happened, I was born. It was
1943.
Nope. It was December 18th, 1961.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
So 1961, the last time those teams were unranked all at the same
One of those,
time.
yeah. One of those teams.
Jace, you got something for us?
Yeah, Willie, you're old.
He raised his hand and everything. We're like, okay, what does Jace have to say?
Well, college basketball worthy. I want to hear what he has to say.
Interesting.
So yeah, that I heard that's the same thing I was going to say. Yeah, the first time.
Is that
I
right?
ranked, Yeah.
That's crazy.
Great minds think alike.
The Blue Bloods, they're out.
Yeah, when I saw that, a couple of comments I saw, when you have this one and done stuff, it kind of takes away from the teams that aren't one and done. Iowa's a perfect example. They've kept that Garza kid there all those years, and he's going to might be player of the year.
Well, it's a lot of Big Ten teams in there right now, and
like
they do it differently. They definitely do it differently.
Well, because they don't have stars. They're a team.
Yeah,
Not to be funny, but Garza's a star, but he stayed around.
Even when I consider them kind of a blue blood, Michigan State, they still do it differently. I mean, sometimes they have the one and dones, but they usually always have a senior that's the leader on that team. And,
right.
That's the way things are going this year. Good for us.
So why is that in the Big Ten? Is it just because they're traditionally a higher quality education?
Well, they don't get the blue chippers.
Yeah.
Those are getting like Shaq and Penny from the movie.
Those other programs are so big.
Nick Nolte.
That was a great movie too.
Although next year Michigan will have the #1 recruiting class. Hard to believe.
Oh, Juwan Howard.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there.
Oh, they'll be what do you call them, the Fab Five? That'd be cool.
Maybe they're going to give Harbaugh. Maybe Juwan Howard has to sit in on Harbaugh's recruiting trips.
Michigan is unstoppable this year. They have not lost, right?
Yep. Oh, Minnesota had their.
Oh, they did.
Week. Oh, yeah.
Last night.
Last Saturday they beat them by 20 or 18 points.
It was a blowout then. That's weird.
So did we talk about Jim Harbaugh last week? About him getting an extension but taking less money? His contract got cut in half, and it's all built to incentives now, so he can make the same amount he was making.
Ohio State fans are cheering everywhere when that happened.
Well, and it's just a cheap way out. But Michigan just taking a cheap way out on a coach. They don't want to pay nobody high profile. They don't want to screw. He'll stay. He likes it here. We'll cut him his money, and if you don't win, it is what it is. We save money. We still get people still come out and watch the game, and it doesn't matter. They can again.
It doesn't get more high profile than Jim Harbaugh, though.
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult situation because it's one of those things when you get rid of a coach like that or he leaves. Think about all the recruits you lose because this guy puts a lot of time and effort into it. I mean, And I don't think it's just him. There's guys on that staff, that are the guys out there that are really good at recruiting these kids and stuff like that. But, man, so I think,
Do you think he's going to have to sell some of his, extra homes and vacation homes and stuff because of his contract, or...
It's not that much of a difference. I don't think it's that much.
He
of
is
a
living in
difference.
Ann Arbor. I'm guessing
he's probably doing pretty
there.
Yeah, but I guarantee he's got a beach house.
He's probably got a sweet dorm.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's
a tricked out dorm.
Yeah, he's got the RA's room, the double room.
So before I talk about the NFL, I want to talk about the Bears for a second. I know. Get that?
Yeah, the elephant in the room.
So I want to talk about them, and obviously, but the NBC, the explanation there. You heard a lot about this last week. Is that ridiculous too?
Yeah.
They came out and their president, who's not supposed to have anything to do with the team, but I'm sorry, not the president. It was Bears president Ted Phillips.
Yes.
They told everybody he has nothing to do with anything, which is bullshit.
Like day-to-day operations, you're saying?
He's just financial.
Doesn't meddle in. We don't meddle in nothing. But then the owner said, well, we sit down and discuss things. Well, you just lied. You said you don't. And the Ted Phillips in the press conference, this is what he said. His words, no question.
That he had a knife?
He's questioning. Oh God! He's questioning himself. So it's like it's just him, no reporter. He goes, "Have we gotten the quarterback situation right? No. Have we won enough games? No. But everything else is there."
What? How does he know? He's not doing anything.
This guy, Kevin Fishbane, this is the best thing ever written, okay? He wrote, this is the football version of, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Oh, my God.
Holy
that was worse than my joke.
That's why I had to bring it up, because it's the best way to, and it really is in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously, person's life isn't the same as...
Too soon.
But in a way, isn't it kind of the same? Just say, yeah, we can't get a quarterback, we don't win, but you know what?
Everything else is great.
It's going great.
Yeah, like, what?
It's like the Titanic. Everybody good? Dinner's being served. We're sinking, but eat real quick before we go down.
But look at the turf at the field. It looks beautiful.
The grass is in great shape. Look at our helmets, how shiny they are on Sundays. Oh, it's great. So basically, and Ryan Pace, and then they wouldn't tell anybody. They would not answer questions about Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy's contract length. Nope. They said it's not important.
That's telling, I think.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it doesn't give you any direction.
I mean, why should I get to know what Allen Robinson wants to make, and I can't know what you make and how long you're going to be there?
You don't even know. You don't know the years.
They don't tell nobody because the question was posed. I think if I'm right, Willie, it was posed. Did anybody get an extension? No. The next question was, well, how long is left? It's really not that important. That's why I brought it up because of that, because I thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard in my life.
Oh, I know.
And you know what?
That is ridiculous.
My pick won't probably reflect this week when we get to these games, but I hope the Packers win, and here's why. It can just keep showing the Bears how far behind they are. Because we talking about this. I was talking with some guys at work today about this. You go through the NFC North right now. The teams are in it, and all three teams but the Bears have had Pro Bowl high elite level quarterbacks. Matt Stafford, I'd say, is one. Dante Culpepper was one for the Vikings. He'd be one I throw out there because he was homegrown. They drafted him and took him in. Because Randall Cunningham and those guys don't count because they free agency and Cousins don't count. And obviously Favre and Rodgers with the Packers. The Bears, I mean, what? Number one, they never drafted a quarterback that's worked. Think of that.
Yeah.
You can argue Jay Cutler, we can argue Eric Kramer, but those were all free agents guys. That don't count. They haven't drafted a guy. Kyle Orton was probably the closest guy they've ever drafted.
Rex Grossman.
Everybody talks about Sid Luckman. Was the best.
I was going to say,
you got to go back. McMahon was drafted. McMahon, you wouldn't put in the top 50 of quarterbacks in the NFL ever, probably.
No, not even close.
So that's what I'm saying. You're talking about. It's just crazy to me. I mean, they just sit there and it's okay, and I think it makes you laugh. It's like these guys actually think they're trending upward because the big thing was I like the way the team and the coaching staff prevailed after losing 6 games. They won 3 and got in the playoffs. And then looked like jokes in the NFL in the playoff game because they couldn't stay on sides. They got untimely penalties, couldn't catch a touchdown. I mean, this is all stuff that falls on the players, but ultimately that's why I knew right away when they made the playoffs it was bad because they were going to use it as, it's trending upward.
Yeah.
What is it with like these? I'd say rich guys in society just thinking we're idiots all the time and just throwing this shit at us.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere too. If it's the media or it's politics or it's sports, and they just throw this shit at you, and they're like, "Yeah, believe it."
Small businesses.
What?
Ed McCaskey is running it. It's just a terrible. What he's doing is he's running his value of his franchise down. It's still going to be worth billions,
right?
Without even having a stadium, but it's running his value down. No, you can. 10 years ago, there was rumors Mark Cuban wanted to get involved, and I was like, "Oh yes, get a guy that understands the sports, sports,
business, the business side.
Yeah,
of it,
yeah,
really.
And he's younger blood.
Yeah, and he gets it. I mean, he wanted the Cubs too, but they wouldn't let him buy. The old heads wouldn't let him get in on that.
Yeah, he ain't one of us.
Yeah, that's why he couldn't get in. Yeah. But I love both ideas, and I mean, they don't want. And Ted Phillips, they all need to go. Even Pace and Nagy, keep that. But bring people in that understand football ahead of them, so they know when they say, "I don't like this," you got to go because it needs to be fixed. Not just, 2 years left in the books, and this is what it is. Well, you know what? If we hire a new coach, we got to pay him and then pay the new coach, and we're not going to hire an established guy because we can't because we're not going to pay those guys. So guys like Bieniemy and stuff, they would probably hire because they're going to pay him a ton. Mm-hmm. But and not to bring, I know the Bears are involved, but it just struck me as insane. I mean, I don't know. You probably thought the same thing hearing it.
Oh, I listened to
your face when I read the quote. You were like, "Huh?"
Yeah, that's
what the president of football operations in Chicago said.
Right.
We don't have a quarterback. We can't win games, but we'll be fine. And they don't hold them responsible. They don't. No. Nobody responsible has all, but the players. The players get held responsible because they lose their jobs. But nobody's holding them responsible in the offices. It's insane to me. It's just nuts.
Well, how do you combat it? You stop buying tickets, stop going?
I don't know. Like I said, you need teams to start. You need all teams like around them to start winning.
Right.
You need the Vikings in Detroit, and you need Detroit next year with Dan Campbell, who got hired.
Right. Yeah.
To start winning next year and go ahead of them and say, everybody can go, well, this ain't good. Now Detroit's moving ahead of us.
Yeah. What happens
with a new coach hired?
What happens if Detroit trades Stafford, drafts a quarterback, and then finishes ahead of the Bears?
It sounds to me like Scott wants that because then maybe something finally gets changed.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the Bears were to make a run next year with a patched-together team, because right now the defense is still, I believe, set.
Viable.
Play well.
Yeah.
If they get the right coordinator and add the right young guys. But like you said, I mean, like I said, what you get an offense to do well and sneak in again next year, and maybe you get a playoff game and you don't win again, and it's good enough. It's good enough.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. And it's been like that for how long? I mean, the first year Nagy was there, it looked like they had something going. They got to the playoffs, probably should have won a game. Trubisky got better. Year 2, everything just went to crap. I mean, and then this year was no better.
Well, because the thing with Nagy, he's been in the playoffs 2 of his 3 years, correct?
And the worst thing about it, and I thought the pick was okay when they did it because it was a guy to understand the system, but their worst move ever since they've been there was Nick Foles.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because they thought they picked him. The drafting with Trubisky, he was rated with many teams, him and Deshaun Watson. Mahomes was not even in some conversation. So I'm not gonna be mad at them for taking Trubisky. It was the wrong guy. But when you go out
happens all the time.
When you go out and buy a free agent and get one, he better be the guy when you bring him in. Mm-hmm. And he had a worse record than the guy you benched because he was injured.
Well, didn't they do that too a few years ago with another quarterback where they overpaid, and the guy never really played?
Well, Jay Cutler didn't really go. He got
no. It was after Cutler, the guy ended up just being a backup.
Oh, it was what's his name? They
paid like $13 million.
He's still playing too.
Yeah.
Mike Glennon.
Glennon was the one that got benched for Trubisky.
Because
John Fox era.
But again, that's a bad move.
Well, Glennon was when he picked him.
Wasn't it $16 million?
Here's the thing: when they got Glennon, I knew he was bad.
Yeah,
and I'm not a scout.
Well, you knew there was a reason he was always a backup.
Yeah.
Well, he did start a little bit, I think.
In Tampa, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they were.
And Jameis Winston replaced him, I believe.
Yeah. So now let's go to Eric's Beer Tap.
I like beer because it is good. I drink beer because I should. If there was a song to sing, I sing it and beer you bring. I drink beer when I am sad, because the beer, it makes me glad. Now there's nothing left to say, so let's go drink beer. Beer is
Well, Scott is saying that he needs a football team from the state of Michigan to help with his Bears situation. But what I think he really needs as a Bears fan is a good beer from Michigan. So Bell's Brewing in I believe it's Kalamazoo. Yeah, Willie's turf somewhat. Does this beer every year. It comes out right in January. It's an annual release. It is a very, very traditional double IPA. It's called Hop Slam, which is what I'd like to do to Hop sometimes when he talks a little smack. But so annual release. It's a one of those giants of a beer. Like I said, it comes out every year, and people used to kind of chase after this. You could find it now in most of your grocery store aisles. But 6 hop variations, and the standout hop is the Simcoe hop. And then it's balanced out with honey. So I don't know if you guys get the honey flavor a little bit in there.
I do.
It just kind of takes away it's not a super hoppy beer. It's got some bitterness. I think the honey helps with the bitterness.
Right.
So I think it's a real well balanced beer. It's 10% ABV, so definitely balanced for 10%. So
yeah, I like it.
Drink one of these, and then you're going to want a second one, and then after the second one, you might want to take a nap.
Right.
So, but yeah, Bell's Hop Slam. Bell's Brewery, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Great beer. If you could get your hands on it, go get it.
When we get back to normal here, we're going to do a bench warmers weekend to hit some
strip clubs.
That and
the breweries.
Some breweries.
No, strip clubs.
Oh,
we're going to Windsor.
We could just bring our own beer. Some of those places
just to get wings.
Jace is in.
Are you bringing lemon pepper Lou with?
Yeah, maybe. That's where I was going with that. Lemon pepper Lou.
Lemon pepper Lou. He's our favorite. So that was Eric's beer time. Thank you, Eric. It's pretty good. Not bad. I'm not a big hoppy. I'm not a fan of hop.
It's good beer.
But,
good beer. Pretty balanced beer, though, I think.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
It doesn't bite your tongue off. It's not like a surly or anything like that.
Yeah, it's good.
So the NFL divisional playoffs were this past weekend, the final 8, as they call them, and pretty good games overall. Most games were close into the fourth quarter, and then they were ended by most of the teams. So we're going to start off with the first game of the weekend. In Green Bay, we had the Rams visiting the Packers. The Packers ended up winning the game 32-18. Goff, 174 and a touchdown. Rodgers, 296 and 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers, 90 yards and a touchdown. Andre Jones. Aaron Jones, 90 yards and a touchdown. Lazard, 96 and a touchdown. And Reynolds, 3 catches, 65 yards.
Well, I thought it was a great game, to tell you the truth, because the Packers won. But the Rams are a solid team. Obviously, they came in with some injuries with Aaron Donald being on the sideline a lot. I thought that really affected the Rams. He did have he was a little bit of a hothead early in the game, getting called for that personal foul and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know if I think that Jenkins was doing a pretty good job against him. But again, the guy was injured coming into the game. But he got under his skin a little bit. And I don't know if it was more his injury was bothering him because he was out a lot, or if maybe the coaches are like, hey, dude, you got to get yourself in check a little bit. Do you do something like that to an Aaron Donald?
Well, no, it was injuries.
Yeah.
Well,
he was losing it.
He was in tears, too.
And it could have been.
He was in tears.
And the thing about it, we were talking after the game, and Michael Strahan talked about it, and when you play in the NFL, and he didn't go as far, but what I took from it, he said, when injured players play a game, it's blood in the water. Mm-hmm. So, maybe it was a little punch to the gut or a little shoulder pad there. Yeah. But once again, that's the game, man. If you can get away with it, you do. Maybe that's why. And nothing showed on that play, but who knows? But once again, you try to play with broken ribs.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to guess we're going to find out are broken. And they weren't whatever. They weren't just bruised. Those were broken ribs. It's just what it is.
Probably concussed ribs.
Concussed ribs. Just a pinch nerve.
But the other so I'm trying to... the name of the corner is escaping me. Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey.
The Ramsey-Adams...
It was terrible because they never were on each other. Twice in the whole game.
Yeah.
3 times. They played zone against him, which I thought was poor. I thought the Rams' defensive scheme was not correct at all. I think they should have put Ramsey with cover over the top the whole game and figured out the rest of the way.
Because he usually plays man on the best receiver.
And they didn't do it that game.
Yeah, he was on him a couple plays.
Yeah.
Adams had a decent game. Obviously, the Lazard play was huge. And And so, I mean, it's great. It's exciting for me to see those other receivers step up like that because MVS even had a couple nice plays, and Bobby Tunyon has been huge.
Bobby,
this year.
That's right.
Bobby.
Hey, by the way, can I mention that letter?
Great letter that he wrote. A lot of people think that it's more of him trying to seal some sort of a long-term contract down the road, but it was well written. It seemed like it came for the heart.
Good luck with the Packers getting a long-term contract.
Yeah, I know. Well, you usually can get one with them. So never a second unless you're Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, I didn't know that either.
Bakhtiari
about the Packers. That I was talking last few weeks. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are both free agents coming up.
Yeah, they were drafted the same year.
I thought Aaron Jones was signed was extended. I didn't know that. So they were talking about that. So they're going to have to figure that out because I think now we were talking to. I know Heggs had brought up that Jamal Williams, they'll let him go. I think Jamal Williams might be cheaper.
Well, yeah, he will be cheaper.
I mean, but Aaron Jones is obviously, I think, the more dynamic back.
There's a market.
You guys, who would you rather have, Jones or Williams?
I think I would rather have Jones. Okay. But if that breaks, if he's demanding 15, 16 million, it's like okay, well we can't do it. And then Jamal Williams is our consolation prize at like 8 or 9 million.
Oh, it'll be cheaper than that.
Well, that's too much.
It'll be like 4.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be a market for him. I really.
He was a monster this week. He took the big carries when they needed the short yardage.
And I do like Dillon. I know you guys. We've had some debate about that. I really like
because
AJ
you
Dillon.
could draft a running back in a year, and the thing is with AJ Dillon, he almost became the almost ran himself out of town with that fumble. Okay, Aaron Rodgers standing 2 feet behind.
Oh yeah,
right.
That quarterback was right there.
He was.
Trying to pick it up and run with it. I mean, that would have been
run, Forrest, run.
If it's me, I go with Dillon and Williams because you're going to save $10 million. It'd be well worth it.
You have the big contract with Bakhtiari too. I mean, once they start doing the numbers going into next year.
Yeah, I mean,
and Aaron Jones.
Oh yeah, because you're right because
they just signed him,
and plus the cap's coming down.
And Jones
said it'll lower a little bit.
Right. Jones hired Drew Rosenhaus.
Oh, nice.
Just a few weeks ago.
So he can ruin football and baseball. Is that same guy ruin baseball?
No, that's
he's easy. He's our agent for the show.
Oh yeah.
Baseball is what.
Who's the baseball agent that ruined that? Brian's agent,
Boris.
Yeah,
Scott Boris.
Scott Boris, Drew Rosenhaus, same guy, different sports.
Yeah, way too much power.
Although football, the thing about football, the teams have bargaining because they can basically go, well, we don't have the money, we can't pay you that much. We have a hard cap.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about it.
And the contracts aren't guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the problem with the NFL. That's the problem with the NFL. They should be guaranteed. I think a portion of them should be for those players.
I do have a little something there. Aaron Rodgers, he threw for multiple touchdown passes in 8 straight games. He's tied for the longest streak in NFL postseason history. And who's he tied with, guys?
Jay Cutler.
Nope.
Okay. A longest streak of multiple touchdown passes in playoff games? Tim Brady.
Steve Young.
No. He was he played with the Ravens. He played with the Broncos.
Joe Flacco?
Yes.
I was going to make a stupid comment like that.
Yeah, can you believe that?
That's why stats are for losers.
Right. And then one other thing here.
That's why fantasy football is stupid. Ask Ed. We all know.
It sucks.
It does.
Right.
We've been there.
Flacco's one of those guys, too.
Yeah.
Just messes up your fantasy team.
And Rodgers' 58-yard touchdown pass to Lazard is his longest passing touchdown in his playoff career.
Really?
He would have had one longer, but he overthrew, I think it was MVS or...
Yeah. Oh, we had the one to Devontae that was... Was it MVS?
Yeah, it was one of the few plays.
He was wide open.
It was one of the few plays the Rams got pressure.
Rodgers made a couple questionable throws early in the game.
Well, because they got a little pressure on him.
Yeah.
That was, I think, Donald was okay to start the game, and as the game went on, he just got, I think he was done. And I think with the game, and I think if Aaron Donald's healthy, the game's a little different. Because remember, the Rams got the ball with 11 minutes left, down by 7. They could have, it was like, I'm like, wow, this game's a lot different than I thought it would be with no Cooper Kupp. That was a big deal.
That was huge. It was huge.
Because that's like your security blanket. That's your guy you look for.
And Aaron Donald being injured.
And Jared Goff stoned. But Jared Goff, I thought, was fine. He made some. They had some good drives.
They had some quick drives. Yeah, really quick.
They moved the ball. I'm like, wow. And then they would have one good drive, and then disappear for a couple of drives. And they have another good drive. They ran the ball good, but they didn't. It was weird because they'd have a drive where they run the ball, then they have a drive where they pass the ball.
Yeah.
It was like they weren't really mixing it up. It was like kind of strange to me where I mean, the Packers ran the ball really well. I think Donald not being in the game a lot helped, but they ran the ball well, and they mixed it up well, I thought. And the Rams just didn't do it. The Rams just it was a tough sell. I don't think the weather mattered one bit. I don't think it hurt either team. The weather this weekend 25 doesn't matter to NFL.
1 to 3 inches of snow, I guess.
Oh, really? Now they're talking.
Yeah, they're talking. The high is 28 that day, and they're talking about afternoon snow.
Oh, okay. So we'll see. But Ed, anything on the Rams and Packers?
Well, when the Packers are running the ball like that, it makes it hard on those play actions to cover everybody.
Yeah.
Rodgers had a guy open, it seemed, every time they did play action, and he missed a couple.
It helps with that tight end playing well, too. Which is, it's
Bobby.
It's another threat, man.
Bobby and what's the other cat? St. Brown or whatever his name is?
Oh, he's a wide receiver.
Okay,
St. Brown had a nice catch. I mean, these other I call them the other receivers, they played well the last couple of weeks, so that's encouraging. So. But are we going to talk about what the Rams need to do?
Yeah, the Rams. The first thing I'm just going to say, they need to get healthy.
Yeah, I got that right.
That was my number one thing on mine.
I mean, I didn't realize that game kind of showed you because the week before I watched Seattle game, and Seattle's offense obviously is on par with the Packers right now, but Aaron Donald was disruptive the whole game. Mm-hmm. And you noticed one thing: Leonard Floyd had a great year. This game, he disappeared because. No Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, when you have a guy in the middle that can just push that middle, it doesn't matter if he gets that quarterback. Just, and early in the game, Rodgers had a couple throws like that first drive. He made 2 bad throws on the goal-to-goal situations, and they had to kick a field goal. He had guys wide open. He missed Amante Adams wide open, and he missed another guy. So, and that was because at his feet, you get happy feet. Doesn't matter how good you are. You don't want to get hit. Screw this, And he tried. They were the right throws. That wasn't like he threw to the wrong guy. Just. Like you said, I think they were just bad throws. But once that rush got away from him and the running game started happening, it got him settled, and they just played better. I mean, and then they mixed box extra point, which I thought was hilarious. Mason Crosby getting mad because he got hit. Don't hit me like that. And the best thing about J.K., I watched one of my followers, J.K. Scott flips to him, and J.K. Scott's like, you take it.
Yeah, I think
I was like, what's he doing? Just go down. You're going to get someone killed.
Yeah, I think he was more mad about getting the ball back, like, why me? I'm the little guy.
Willie, I think you got your notepad out.
I do. I took some notes here. Aaron Donald, he led the league with 98 quarterback pressures, and he was credited with at least 3 every game this season until Saturday when he only had 1.
Yeah, so the injury was a big thing on him. Plus, the Packers line plays well, but the injury was, I think, the biggest thing. I mean, he played only he usually plays. You know how many percentage of snaps I heard? Like he plays 90% or 85%. Usually, he only play like 75 or 60% or some weird thing. Which it is what it is. Hey, you know what? If Packers were hurt and the Rams wouldn't have beat them, the Rams wouldn't feel bad. It's part of the NFL. It's part of the game. Yeah. He's healthy. And did you see how Aaron Donald got hurt though? How he actually hurt his ribs? Yeah. Did you see how he did it? He sacked. It was a
foot.
No, he sacked Russell Wilson and spun around, and Russell Wilson landed on him.
Oh, I
sat on his chest.
I did see that.
Oh, really? Wow.
It was him sacking, and he just spun him around. And he hit the ground. He sent it. Look it up. It's insane.
So first Cowboy
is Ciara injured all the time? Then is that what you're saying?
So okay, Rams. So you were talking Rams.
I mean my notes were stay healthy, obviously, or get healthy. The maybe more consistency out of like the tight end position. I mean, Higbee it seemed like he was not as good as last year. He just was kind of. I mean, I had him in fantasy, so I was always disappointed in him.
I think the whole year, but I think in that game the Cooper Kupp thing was huge. Was bigger than people would think. I'm not saying. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying they're going to win the game. But I'm saying that game's a lot different when you have a guy you can just. Doom. You can get it to you.
Sure,
it's
a good
your blanket.
He's like a Welker.
He's like a
Welker or Scotty Miller, whatever you want to call him.
I'm sure he probably knows they're probably on the same page.
Yeah.
And then you got to throw another guy in that spot, and that rookie had a good job of
Jefferson.
No, the other guy. Oh yeah,
Jefferson actually played really well.
He actually, when I watched Hard Knocks this year, he's a good receiver. They drafted him. He's a rookie.
Robert Woods was kind of on an island out there.
Right, well, it's tough because you got to play. It's tough. And Robert Woods had a good game too. He had a few big catches.
Robert Woods had a good second half of the season. Really, to basically look at the Rams. I mean, now we're talking this. They were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Playoff. Did they make the playoffs last year, or were they right on the cusp? No. I think we could almost say they're still kind of going to be a perennial. I think they're in the playoffs.
Tough
next
division,
year.
though.
They're Bear-esque, They made
tough
the playoffs last 2 years.
Tough division, though. They're a tough division.
I mean, it's not. I'm not going on a limb when I'm saying they're a pretty decent team.
Well, I remember a few weeks ago we all said we liked them to make a run, and I think the injuries stopped them from doing that. Because I mean, the bottom line, not saying they would beat the Packers, but maybe they would have got a different seed out of it.
Yeah,
and got to go play somebody else. Yeah, you know,
maybe they would have won the division.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then,
yeah, they got to. You know, you don't know.
Well, then they would have played the Seahawks, which they did.
Maybe if they
would have been at home and they would have won by more.
Oh, okay.
Maybe if they were chasing around a 45-year-old quarterback instead of a 37-year-old quarterback, they'd have been better off.
Yeah, there you go.
So, what do you think? What do you think the Rams need to do? Basically,
I don't know. They're not that bad.
Yeah, not much.
What are you gonna? I don't know.
Yeah, just carry it back. They're gonna have to probably replace Andrew Whitworth, so I'm guessing he's gonna have to be replaced. But they were missing a guard and another guy too that day. Although the Packers are missing Bakhtiari, so that's even out. But they ran the ball. I mean, they ran the ball fine.
If they could just
and
bring
Cam
back...
Akers came along.
Cam Akers, yeah, he played really good. He showed his worth.
It was like in like week 14 or 13, all these rookie running backs like Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins,
Swift,
so all these guys, got to play more, and it started clicking.
Well,
for him.
Cam didn't get to really start the season because he was hurt.
And then he got slowly brought in, and I think it's a lot to do with protection, knowing how to protect the quarterback when you're. I mean, the Buffalo game we'll get to. I don't. It's like every time I looked up, they were throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They don't run the ball at all.
Oh, the Bills?
They don't care. They don't care. We'll get to that. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. It's weird. But yeah, Packers move on next week to play the Buccaneers. We'll get to that in a second. So next game on Saturday night was the Bills-Ravens. Basically, kind of a snooze fest. I mean, a good defensive battle. The Ravens have probably a real solid defense. I think the Bills' defense was elevated by the fact that Lamar Jackson, I just think he's still kind of missing something. I don't know what
the interception. The interception was because that was the biggest moment of the game.
That
right
defense
there.
only gave up 10 points and lost a playoff game.
Yeah,
that's nuts. I mean, you give up 10 points, you're gonna go. You give up 10 points a game in the playoffs. If you told me a team defensively gave up 10 points a game, I would say that it would be you're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So
what? Oh, go ahead, Willie.
No, I just when you're talking about Jackson's interception, that was his first career red zone interception. He was had 49 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the red zone in his career.
So that was
because he usually sprints 97 miles an hour into the end zone.
Josh Allen never had one either, so it was a matchup of non-red zone picks.
Well, then
again, when he only played for 3 years in the NFL,
I want to say Lamar Jackson, though, isn't really good at throwing the ball in the end zone, in the red zone. Or it was like, I saw something on there. Was it inside the 10 or something?
He's probably running.
Yeah, because he runs it almost every time.
I forgot about the Rams. I have a trivia question for you guys. What all-pro receiver did Sean McVay beat out for Play of the Year in Georgia? I'll give you a second. You're listening to the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. Check us out on Facebook at Basement Benchwarmers, also on Instagram at Basement Benchwarmers, and on Twitter at Base Benchwarmers, and our email is basementbenchwarmers@gmail.com. So, what player did Sean McVay beat out for Player of the Year in the state of Georgia? He's an all-pro, gonna be a Hall of Famer.
So this is high school, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
In the state of Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia.
I don't even know how old Sean McVay is.
I should give you many
He's
hints.
young. He's under 40.
I'll give you one. Jace, you got a guess?
What was the question?
Did you look it up?
No, I didn't. I saw this earlier. No, I didn't look it up. What was the question?
Who did Sean McVay beat out for Player of the Year in
Calvin
Georgia?
Johnson.
Yes, that is correct.
I thought about Calvin.
Well, it makes sense.
He had better hair.
Calvin Johnson, yes. Sean McVay beat out Calvin
Sean
Johnson.
McVay
Now,
seems
Sean
like-
McVay, I think he was a quarterback, so obviously quarterbacks get the girl all the time. So
I think he was. No, they were both wide receivers. I think.
No really?
way.
I thought they were. Let me
McVay
look up
looks
if he was
like
a wide
he's
receiver, but I
5'8".
thought they were both wide receivers.
When's the last time, though, Calvin Johnson won a Super Bowl?
Good point.
Yeah.
When's the last
Last
time
time
Sean
Sean
McVay
McVay
won one?
That was a weird question.
Thanks for playing, Ed.
Heads Jeopardy.
Wow, that was weird. So we started talking about the Ravens Bills, and that's what we're talking about. So basically, an interception turned the tide of the game, and then obviously Lamar Jackson getting knocked out with the concussion.
The Ravens need a better field goal kicker.
Oh, yeah, Tucker missed 2 that night.
Yeah, what's
They
up with
did.
that? He's been so clutch.
The last time he did
gets
that
single
was in
points.
Week 16 in 2018 against the Chargers. But they were both 50-plus.
He needs a better snapper, too.
Snapper?
Center.
A better what?
A snapper? Did you say snapper?
I believe they need a better snapper.
That's what she said.
So for the Ravens to get better next year, what do you think they need to do? I mean, the division they're in is kind of in they got Cleveland, Cincinnati might not be there, Pittsburgh might be going the other way. So what do you think the Ravens have to do to get back to this point next year, if not further?
They need to bring back Joe Flacco.
He does have a bunch of touchdowns in the postseason.
That's right. Well, hey, what about this? The biggest difference I saw between Josh Allen and the Big Trust was Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, because Hollywood Brown was a high draft pick, and he's not Stephon Diggs.
No, he's no. Think about that, though.
Yeah.
You put Diggs on the Ravens team.
Diggs is good, yeah.
And Diggs is pretty insane. So I mean, he's pretty good. I think that was one of the places I think Allen Robinson they said might end up. So possibly. But you got to be able to throw to get to the receivers.
The problem is almost like I mean, I don't know a lot about football, but it seems like a scheme. He wants to run within a second. He steps back. He's ready to run already.
And
I don't think it's giving your wide receivers even time to get open. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not on that.
It's got to be tough because you look at how electric he is and how fast he is.
Oh,
how do you not let him run?
But then you really can't complain that your receivers aren't getting the ball.
And then you get to the playoffs and it's not working because the defense has figured it out.
Yeah, because they stick some linebacker on him and just a shadow.
And you're playing the best of the best when you get here.
2 years in a row in the playoffs, our offense was pretty much shut down.
And that first year, but he was only played partial.
But when they were legit, Tennessee shut him down, and now Buffalo. And
was he the youngest quarterback in the playoffs in the AFC?
Yes.
Right? Think about that. Isn't that
was it him or
amazing?
Josh Allen?
No, it was him.
I think it's
the oldest.
I know Baker Mayfield was the oldest.
The oldest at 25.
Yeah, 25, and then you look at the NFC.
That was a neat story. Yeah. That was a neat statistic because the youngest was Goff at 26.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, so Baltimore, I think, just needs to. I just think that Lamar Jackson has to get better for them to progress. I really do. Not that he's bad.
No, he's unbelievably talented.
You have to give. I think Harbaugh, has to get behind him and give him some confidence because I'm sure this guy's not liking himself a lot right now.
Well, it's attitude. I mean,
I mean Harbaugh has to get behind him. You said
that's right.
What she said.
I think there's some attitude issues too. I mean, maybe the whole team, like the character of the team and the attitude of Lamar Jackson and what we saw the week before. Maybe it has an effect on them.
Karma is a bitch, they say.
Well, that.
Who says that?
Somebody.
Carmen Electra. Carmen Electra, you said?
Someone said that.
I think it was Dennis Rodman.
Karma is a bitch. Carmen is a bitch.
Carmen is a bitch.
I like that.
Yeah. So I'll move on to the game 3, the early game on Sunday, which was kind of an up and down game. Browns Chiefs, and I actually have NFL Films sent us. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but NFL Films. I'm friends with the Sable family, and right, that runs NFL Films.
Yeah.
So I have the actual on-field camera microphone from when Mahomes, as everybody knows, suffered an injury. It was a concussion. Now it's pinched nerve.
This might be an exclusive.
Yeah. So this is what was heard on the field.
You okay? I'm fine. Who am I? Hey, Coach. And who are you? I'm Batman. Sit down. To the Batcave.
So that's what was heard on the field. So Patrick Mahomes was
he's okay because of a pinched nerve.
Yeah,
he was shook up pretty good. It seems like.
Yeah.
So anyway, Cleveland goes to Baltimore. Cleveland goes to Kansas City and ended up losing. Mayfield had 204 and a touchdown. Probably should have been 2. Fumbled at the 1. Mahomes 255 and 1 touchdown. Chubb 69 yards. I don't have the button up, so that's what she said. Damian Williams 13 carries, 78 yards. Higgins 5 catches, 88 yards, and Tyreek Hill 8 for 110. The big thing in that game was Mahomes getting hurt, Chad Henne coming in, and the biggest thing I think was said, and it was kind of pointed out in one of the post-game shows, was sometimes when, and Chad Henne Chad Henning wasn't anything but spectacular.
Chad
Henne, not Doug Henning. Chad Henning.
Michigan boy.
That might have been a magical experience.
Yeah,
It was Doug Henning.
Didn't he smash a watermelon? No, that's someone else.
That's
Gallagher.
They look alike.
But he had the same mustache.
Yeah, he likes to give rides. So the difference in it was possibly, like they were saying, is that week 17, remember, Chad Henne got to play the whole game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Mahomes rested. So maybe that was a big thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say this right now, though. There's some big balls in Andy Reid to on 4th and 1 from almost a 50 to run the sprint right X out for a first down with your backup quarterback. I mean, it's just when they got in that formation, I'm like, and then Rome, I go, that's a shocking, man. You don't usually do too many because you can get too much trouble with the movement back there. Usually when you do an offside count, you get up under center and you get in there. I'm like, I don't know, man. All of a sudden they snap the ball with 13. I'm like, oh crap, they're going for it. And then he rolls out. I'm like, they ain't getting this out. And sure as crap,
Well, it's easy to have confidence when you won the Super Bowl the year before.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't know if he noticed.
Yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes was out of the game.
Yeah, that's
and the only place to go is down after winning the Super Bowl.
Doug Henning didn't do a great job.
I'll tell you what. I think thank
again.
God that Henne played Week 17 to give him some.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A little rhythm.
Can I say anything is possible?
Wow.
Wow.
That was great.
Patrick Mahomes said that post game. I'm quoting it.
He
didn't know where
tweeted
he
it.
was.
He tweeted it.
What happened? I blacked out.
He also says he watches the basement bench warmers every week.
Watches it.
He was hit hard.
Part about it.
That's right.
That's my favorite TV show. That's the little birds around his head.
I mean,
you know, if that had been a Nickelodeon, would have put birds around his head.
Couple question marks.
Tweets, yeah. So I got a little trivia
hashtags.
Little trivia quick. So Travis Kelce is now 7 career receiving touchdowns in the playoffs. He's tied for the second most with a tight end in playoff history, trailing only one guy. Who would that be?
Rob Gronkowski.
You are correct, sir.
I was going to say Shannon Sharp, but
No, Rob has 12.
I was either that or Ditka. I was going to say
Ditka.
Did any of you guys see too in that Chiefs game? I think it was Romo got so excited. It's the end of the game. They're the AFC. It sounded like the damn Hindenburg was going down. And he's like, oh wait,
it's not first down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, that was a great run by.
That'd have been a great Hindenburg call though. It's going down. They're the humanity. Oh no, they're all alive.
That was a good run by Henne when he ran that. Got that. Got with that inch because they would have never gone for it if that didn't happen. Obviously, that was a huge play and just a poor. The defense kind of broke down for the Browns. The Browns, though, a great season, 11 wins.
I know what they need. I know what the Browns need to do for next year. They need better running backs.
The Browns need trade Odell.
Yeah, they still got.
They need to trade that guy. He's a.
Obviously,
they got better once he got hurt.
Yeah.
I think Jarvis Landry's a way better receiver.
Landry's good, but they need another. They need another guy. The running backs are sensational. Chubb is incredible. I think. I mean, when you needed some big runs, when you needed something big out of Chubb, he gave you something big. Back to back, baby.
That's what she said.
Did you see Kareem the way he kicked his way out of some of the places?
Oh,
he did such a great job.
Damn it, Willie!
And this is what's.
I love when Chubb's slow dancing. You know, when he gets a touchdown. Jesus. This is horrible.
I lost my Chubb.
I think the Browns are good for the future. I really do. They're young. I like People's Choice or Peoples Jones, whatever his name
People's
is.
Choice.
He's a good receiver too.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Peoples Jones.
Michigan guy.
I like Golden Globe better.
I think what they're going to need to do. The only thing I feel I thought of this before the playoffs started when they made it. The one guy I really feel for right now is Joe Thomas.
I thought the same thing.
All those years of
losing football.
He's a Hall of Famer on a terrible team, on the line on top of it.
Most loyal guy ever.
And he just never left, and he ended up 2 years later they're in the playoffs and then making runs now with
and they were one spearing call away from winning that game.
I think you watch the replay. The guy turned. I mean, it is what it is. I think like we were texting. The refs aren't watching it now at that point.
Right.
They're watching the ball, watching the feet, and
he's diving for the pylon, and
I guarantee you that rule where you fumble into the thing is gone next year.
They won't get rid of that.
I think you will.
Why would you get rid of it?
I think there's too many people that
they've done it for years. It's a fumble. You fumbled out of the end zone. It's their ball. You shouldn't get it where you get it. I mean, it is what it is. Now, the great thing about that is that it went out of bounds though. So
let's see.
Yeah, because it was on. Yeah, they will never get rid of that rule because
Let's see what happens.
It's another rule that just hurts the defense. Another rule.
All the rules around the end zone are just ridiculous. Like the quarterback jumps up, sticks the ball over real quick, pulls it back, touchdown. Never even goes anywhere near the end zone.
Yeah.
The wide receiver in what game was it? The last game, the Saints game, where he catches it, flips over, hits the ground, and the ball comes. I think it was Godwin.
Yeah, that wasn't a catch though.
Right, it wasn't a catch.
No.
But he got his 2 feet down. But if he would have been going through the front of the end zone, it's automatically a touchdown.
No, you got to control a catch. You have to finish the catch.
No.
That's why I don't understand why
these guys dive for the.
Because I can't believe Tampa Bay even challenged that. Because watching the replay, that wasn't a catch. It was
no.
Because if that happens in the middle of the field, that's not a catch.
But it just was like 3 years ago. You had to catch the ball, and he would have had to run into the clubhouse, take a break, tie his shoes, and then it was like, okay, he completed the catch.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's like,
the
it's
Calvin
closer.
Johnson's catch in Chicago changed that rule.
That one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, the Des Bryant catch a few years ago, and also Zach Ertz at the beginning of the Super Bowl, the first touchdown, that was reviewed for about 10 minutes when the ball popped out.
And the Heath Miller catch a few years ago in the playoffs.
Yeah, everything around the... And then if you hit the pylon as you're 4 feet away from...
Yeah, that's the way you solve this, instead of changing rules, just catch the ball.
Yeah,
and hold
make the play.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, you know what the rules are. Catch the ball.
Who started all this? Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
We were at that game, guy.
But he couldn't win. He couldn't win Player of the Year in Georgia.
I was at that game.
Sean McVay. I don't know if you were there with us. That was early.
That was he didn't complete the catch. That's where it started the whole.
That probably was
rigmarole.
So the next game,
I was drinking.
The final game of the day was the.
Old man.
It was the History Channel, Buccaneers Saints, and Tom Brady 199 2 touchdowns, Drew Brees 134 touchdown, Leonard Fournette 600 yards rushing, Kamara 85 yards rushing, Cameron Brate 4 catches 50 yards. Might be Drew Brees' swan song. Saw some nice pictures of him and Brady talking after the game. That was pretty cool. I believe he's done.
I think he's done.
And the awesome pass from Brady to Brees' kid.
Yeah, did you see it before the game? That was awesome.
Yeah, that was actually after.
After the game.
Oh, that was after?
They hung out after. His wife came out. Kids came out.
Yeah.
And Brees' daughter's doing backflips. And, crazy.
Nobody was talking about that, but she made some pretty nice somersaults.
So
I saw the somersault.
Yeah,
it was more of a round off. Yeah.
I believe the Saints right now, if Brees does retire, which it looks like he's going to, I don't know where they're going next year.
It's a little rebuild, I think.
Because Brady does come back next year, I believe, because he's nuts.
He wants 3 more.
Because Gronk's coming back. Gronk said he'll come back.
45, he's 43. That was his thing. He said, I'm playing the whole 45. So...
that's when I quit playing NFL football.
Yeah, me too.
God, when I get to be that age, I don't think I would want to... Wait, how old is he?
He's a few years younger than us. I don't even want to get out of bed now.
Jesus.
Seems like you got Carolina in that division. Atlanta has to have a bounce back year. I'm guessing they're going to be better. Carolina should be a little better.
Can't be worse.
So, I mean, remember, Atlanta was in how many one-score games? They lost at the end of the Bears, the Cowboy game.
But there might be a shakeup in Atlanta. I mean,
they did. They hired Arthur Smith.
Okay, isn't Arthur Smith the owner?
No.
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Blank.
Arthur Blank.
He got hired because his name was Arthur.
I mean, they kept talking about Ryan not being there anymore, Julio Jones not being there anymore.
Well, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen.
I think there'll be a little shake up there.
Yeah, we'll see.
But what'd you call him last week? Ridley? You kept calling
Calvin?
No, it is Calvin Ridley. Riley Ridley.
Riley.
Yeah.
That's the Bear.
Riley Cooper.
Yeah, Riley Cooper. They won the UFC championship.
So, what do the Saints need to do next year, Willie?
Well, I have a little tidbit here about Tom Brady. Okay, so Tom Brady's first conference championship came during the 2001 season. During the 2001 football season, Aaron Rodgers set the Pleasant Valley High School, Chico, California, single-season record for passing yards with 2,303 yards.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
And Rodgers is old enough to retire.
Rodgers is pretty old.
That's right.
I think it's going to be it's a hell of a matchup next week, but I don't want to get into that.
No.
I don't know if anybody else notices this, but it looks like to me like Drew Brees is throwing a Hail Mary every play. You see how he winds up, he looks, and then the ball comes out and it goes 4 yards. It's the weirdest looking thing.
He looks like it's time. And isn't it amazing? Brady's 2 years older than him? And Brady doesn't look like that at all.
But Brady eats all that crap that's...
The avocado ice cream.
Yeah, there you go.
No sugar.
Joe, what do you do with avocados now?
But, I mean, were you guys excited to watch that? Was that game that good? It wasn't that good.
I thought it was a good game.
You thought it was a good game?
I thought it was probably one of the better games of the weekend, just the way it played.
But it wasn't about the quarterbacks, really. I mean, their numbers were... I mean, Breeze threw the 3 interceptions.
Yeah, Brady had 2 touchdowns, no 99, so it wasn't, I mean... And they ran the ball a good amount, too, at times.
Yeah,
so
good running team.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it was kind of quiet, but defensively, the Buccaneers, I thought, played really well. But yeah, the Saints, it's all going to depend on what they do at quarterback. Taysom Hill, they're going to sign Jameson Winston back. I know they have talked about bringing Winston back.
The nice touchdown pass.
Yeah, Peyton loves him. That was actually the same exact play the Bears ran against them and was dropped by the Bears.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yep.
They replayed it and it was almost identical.
Same play. Same play.
Crazy.
But yeah, Jameis Winston, they really like. I don't know if Jameis Winston was slighted because he didn't get a chance to start, but they said they like him and they're talking about bringing him back, so I don't know.
Didn't they say that Breeze came up there and said, hey, this is your team now? Something like that? Or?
Yeah, he was talking to him after the game. I saw him talking to him. So, and maybe Jameis Winston learned some stuff on the bench all year. You never know. I mean, you're in the offense for a year and you've been running a scout team. I don't know. You never. Who knows?
I'm going to say they're not a playoff team next year.
It depends what they do. I'll see, because their defense is pretty good still.
Kamara's good, obviously.
Yeah,
Kamara's good.
They got Kamara locked
they
up.
They still get Whitehouse, don't they?
If Jameis Winston is your guy next year, I'm saying no.
Well,
I don't know. You got a good
the ball
coach
down the field, man.
They got the guys that can go on the field, man.
Yeah.
Sean Payne's. But once again, what we talked about when the show started, the system thing's funny because Bruce Arians, Jameis Winston couldn't succeed. Tom Brady goes there, and the offense gets going after 6-7 games. It's running smooth. So I mean, it's all about. Plus they had a couple more weapons.
Yeah, but Peyton's offense is a little different too. He's going to have more control with Kamara there to just dump the ball off and let him run. And it's not going to be all on Winston.
So next week's matchups, we'll start with the early game. It'll be Green Bay hosting the Buccaneers, 43 versus 37. Is that the numbers now we're at? Never thought you'd probably ever say that in your life. 43 in the championship game.
That's crazy.
Maybe 37, but not 43. The interesting thing about Tom Brady is this will be his 14th championship game in his career. They've advanced. Joe Montana started 7 in second place, and they have Elway Bradshaw and Roger Staubach each had 6. Brady will go against Aaron Rodgers, who is starting his 5th conference game, and that's tied with Kelly, Manning, Favre, Roethlisberger, McNabb, and Stabler. Another trivia question for you guys, real quick. He'll be the 4th quarterback in NFL history to start a conference championship game for 2 different teams. Okay, for 2 teams in both conferences, AFC, NFC.
Okay.
You're listening to the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. Check us out on Facebook at Basement Benchwarmers, also on Instagram at Basement Benchwarmers, and on Twitter at Base Benchwarmers, and our email is basementbenchwarmers@gmail.com. I'll be really surprised if you get the other 2.
Read the question one more time.
But the one you should get.
Yeah, the one we know.
Brady will be will be one of the only 4 quarterbacks in NFL history to start in both AFC and NFC championship games. Name the other 3. And remember, we were talking before the show, we couldn't figure out. The one did start in the AFC championship game for when he left his other team.
Yeah, that was
so Montana.
Joe Montana.
Montana played in AFC.
So then we have 2 others.
2 left, and I'd be surprised. The one maybe I would have guessed. You would have thought these are far enough back. This guy's in the 70s, 80s, and then you would have this other guy would be in the 80s. Yeah, the other guy is gonna be tough, but this other guy actually played in a Super Bowl. Actually, this one guy played for the Raiders and the Redskins.
Theismann. You're going back that far, though. You're going before that.
That's this guy's after Theismann.
Okay.
Raiders, Redskins. This guy is the other guy.
Raiders was he played with Redskins, and then he was with the Raiders to do that with
Rich Gannon.
No, I'll give you the first name, Jay.
Oh yeah, that's the guy I was trying to think of. I can't remember his name though. Jay Schrader. Schrader, there you go.
Yeah. I never got that.
Yeah, that's one guy.
The other guy played for the Broncos and Cowboys, and actually, the funny thing is, this guy lost to the Cowboys in a Super Bowl, playing for the Broncos.
Craig Morton.
Yes, 43-year-old Brady has now played in postseason game for every year he's been around. 43 postseason games. No one else in history is close. Obviously.
That's crazy.
So Tom Brady visited Lambeau.
Where was he? Where was he drafted?
197th, right?
99.
7th round. Is it 6th round or 7th round?
5th, that would have been, right?
thought it was 6 or 7.
199.
199. I think
32
That's
per
sixth.
round. Sixth. Yeah. Sixth. Late sixth.
round,
Yeah. So let's start with our picks. With the scroll, we got picks last week. Willie went 3-1. Ed went 4-0. Eric went 2-2, and I went 3-1. Eric is still up by 1 game over Ed. 40, 39, 36, and 36. And if I wouldn't have tried just catching Eric, I would have been 4-0 too. Because I did say I was taking the Packers.
Well, I would have too.
Yeah, so we all been 4-0.
I picked Cleveland to win. I was adamant, and they just covered the spread, so I feel guilty.
Well, you got it. That's your thing.
Well, that's half the battle.
But
Right?
we all got the bonus point for the Bucks because they covered and won.
I paid off my mortgage too with those 4-0.
And I don't know why I didn't take the Saints. Oh, I had to take the Bucks because I picked them. See, I stick to my guns.
Yeah.
See, Eric didn't. I did.
I didn't either.
So who's still in it?
I had Baltimore.
You guys are all.
I only got one point lead, right?
Yeah, so it's between those two basically.
Yeah.
I picked against both my teams.
Yeah. So that.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
So basically, for the Super Bowl, I have both my teams left: Chiefs, Buccaneers. So obviously, you know who I'm taking.
You're going.
I can't go against. But so let's start with who you're going to take. Packers -3.
I have to take the Packers, so I'm taking them with to cover. Obviously, I just feel like they're it's their time to win again. I mean, the game's in Lambeau. It's Rodgers' first NFC Championship there. I feel like the momentum's good. You know, it's obviously I'm a Packer fan, so I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. But yeah, I feel pretty confident, more confident than I have in years past about the Packers being in an NFC Championship game.
Okay.
I like the Packers as well. They looked really good, so I think they look as good.
It's a balanced offense.
I'm gonna go with my Michigan man, Tom Brady. Tampa Bay. I'm going with Tampa Bay.
The couple things in this game that will decide the game is basically the pass rush. That's what's going to decide the game, and it's going to depend who gets to who first. And I'm taking the Bucks because I have to. But the Packers are playing really well right now. But the only thing that does stick out to me, looking from the outside from both teams, is that nobody dominates anybody anymore. I mean, the Packers struggle with the Bears for 3.5 quarters. They struggle with the Rams kind of for 3.5 quarters. And not struggle, but you know what I'm saying. It was close. And Tampa Bay did the same thing down the stretch. They got to play Atlanta twice. And they played, and they struggled with Atlanta, almost lost the game to Atlanta. And they played another team that was maybe Carolina or something down the stretch. So I just think both teams have, this isn't like, NFL has become so weird in the last 10, 15 years. You would never look at a team and go, yep, they're going to win it all. Mm-hmm. Even with the next game we're talking about, KC and the Buffalo, nobody is going to be really settled with what they're picking. Obviously, you like
especially now.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of set up. I mean, you're facing a team that's defense isn't as good as the Rams, but the Rams were banged up a little bit. But the way they played last week, they're pretty impressive. Todd Boyles is a good coordinator, but the Packers have been getting to the quarterback against. They got to the quarterback a lot. You're facing way more weapons in Tampa Bay. You're facing a different animal. This is probably the best offense. And when they played them last time, the game got away from the Packers. I know it was early in the season. It was in Tampa.
And the mistakes early.
But once again, those were defensive plays that were made. Yeah. And I mean, I'm taking the Bucks just because I picked them to win the Super Bowl. So I'm taking them. But I think the Bucks have a shot. I don't think this is a clear cut. The Packers are playing so well that they're going to run. But if the Packers won by 14, would it surprise you? Probably not. But I think the Bucks are good enough to go there and win. And the difference is nobody can tell you this or whatever. Rodgers is great, but Brady might be greater. And Brady's been there. He's played AFC Champions. He's played in these games many times. Rodgers, since 2010, hasn't been very successful in the playoffs. He had that run, right? I mean, you guys lived through it. They get to these games. These games, you get like the San Fran last year. You looked on paper. You're like, Garoppolo can't throw the ball.
Well,
blah blah blah. And but seriously, you looked at when you went in the game. You were all everybody's like, "There's no way."
I felt like we were going to lose to the 49ers.
I didn't even think the Packers were going to make the playoffs last year.
I mean,
I feel.
I'm just saying that.
I hear what you're saying, and there's something to that. Like Brady just seems to wherever he is, he just wins. Whether sometimes he has really hardly anything to do with it, and he wins. A lot of times he has a lot to do with it, and he wins. It's just he's got winning.
But on the flip side, Rodgers is playing really well. But like I said,
but Rodgers has had some the playoff games that have just gone the opposite way you ever would thought they would go.
It's harder to blitz too against the Buccaneers, I'm guessing. But the good thing about the Packers, they can get pressure with their front four, which might be the difference. I mean,
their defense is playing much better.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're bringing a decent running game in, they're going to run the ball. They're going to try. Ronald Jones can run the ball, and both teams have a couple injuries I saw. So we'll see. I mean, they're all going to play. They're just basic injuries, but you still got to play with them.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a fun game for me because you look at the Packers. I grew up watching the Packers, but I also would love to see Tom Brady win and just stick it to everybody in the NFL again. Because he's done it. Everybody hates him.
He's done it enough.
Remember the opening day? I said Buccaneers at home winning the Super Bowl, and I gotta stay with it.
Yeah, you gotta.
If I wasn't, I would probably maybe lean on the Packers a little bit, but if I was betting, I probably wouldn't even bet this game if I was a bettor. I wouldn't even touch it. I don't like the game at all.
3 points.
I may take the over just because I think it might be some scoring, but who knows? NFL games are weird.
28 degrees and snowing.
Well, if the snow doesn't happen, 28 degrees is no big deal.
Yeah, I don't think
28 degrees don't bother me. People are free. NFL players, you read these guys, and they always say, if I can play in 28 to 35, 40, I love it because it's comfortable. You're not hot. You don't get. I mean, now if it's minus
10, it's a whole.
Well, that's even worse for both teams.
Yeah,
because who knows what happens then? I mean, remember
we learned that in 2007.
Well, I'm just saying, and the Giants were a cold weather team too, but. Nobody wanted to be out there. Who wants to be out there?
No.
Nobody wants to be out there.
Wasn't there a Falcons game or something where they came in to Lambeau and just kicked the shit out of the Packers?
Michael Vick.
That was a cold weather game, too.
Yeah, it was real cold.
And they thought, Michael Vick just ran all over the place on them, though. Kind of like the Kaepernick year when they came in. I mean, those are bad matchups. Tom Brady ain't going to run away from nobody this weekend. Trust me. That's one thing I will tell you. Tom Brady will not rush for more than 10 yards.
Yeah, it's not going to be a 4th and 26 where he runs for 27.
No. He may throw it for 26 or 27, but he ain't running it. I'm telling you right now. So let's move. Okay, so we got 2 Pack and 2 Bucks. So next up is KC and Batman versus the Bills at home, and we have. This might be. I know the Packers game, you guys, but I think this game might be the best game of the weekend just by looking. I mean, both games are going to be good, I think, but this game could be. You don't know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get from Rodgers and Brady. It's all about defense, like I said. Mm-hmm. But with this game, the defense played good against Buffalo Bills. Defense been okay. Kansas City's up and down. They had tough. This can be. You got Josh Allen trying to prove something, but man, Mahomes is healthy. Oof, I don't know.
If Mahomes is really healthy, then I don't think it's. I think it's going to be a blowout, to tell you the truth. But this is intriguing now that it's like we don't know. I mean, is his foot okay? Is the pinched nerve going to be an issue? So that makes it more intriguing. It's kind of harder to pick, with Mahomes. If Mahomes was 100% healthy, I'd say it's a no-brainer for me. I'm still going to take the Chiefs.
Minus the 4?
Minus the 4, yeah.
Okay. So, no, I'm sorry, minus the 3. Packers are minus 4.
Oh, okay.
You're still good with the Packers.
I'm still good. I'm good with both picks. Okay. I feel good about both picks.
I like Buffalo. It's hard for a team to repeat and go in twice.
So the Bills plus 3.
Plus the way they've been running the ball. Would they run for 4 yards the last game?
Who, the Bills?
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Well, they just throw it every time.
Yeah, it's new NFL, man.
Beasley and Diggs.
Don't they have Cole Beasley? Who's that guy? He's a nobody.
He was only ranked like 7th out of right receivers again this week on the PFF, and they showed him. So
right,
you don't need receivers. Hey, and he catches the ball every time it's thrown to him.
That's right.
No,
that's why you need receivers.
This is where
he reminds me of Fred Biletnikoff. You know who he is? Do you know who he is?
I know
he is. I've only seen him in black and white.
He's in black and white. Yeah.
You never saw him at Peyton's place? We had to stick him all over.
I never saw that one. I gotta watch that.
It's a great way to watch it after the show. So, but no, Beasley reminds me of Biletnikoff because this guy would catch anything. He could catch it on his helmet. His been in the hell. Like, I caught it.
So you like who you like, Willie, in the game?
Well, here my problem with Buffalo is the lack of running, and if they have to really rely on the pass game, so
I kind of thought the same thing. So you like KC?
Yeah, I'm going Kansas City for sure.
So I'm leaning towards you, and the reason when you say that, because let's say the Bills are up by 4 with
how do they run the clock?
4 minutes left.
Yep.
I'd be able to run the ball in the game.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
But
Singletary's done a nice job. Yes.
With no Zach Moss now. Yesterday, the other day, who did they bring in? Who was the backup yesterday? They came in. He's been T.J. Yeldon was the backup.
That guy. He was like if you picked him up in a pinch.
Yeah, he came.
Did he play with
Jacksonville? He started with Jacksonville for a year or two. He played. So So he was their guy because they pulled him off the practice squad, and they did pick up Devontae Freeman, so he might be out for this game. Maybe they had to get him ready for a week. But once again, I picked KC and Buffalo, so I can't change it now. I mean, there's no point. So I'm taking KC minus the 3.
I got a hypothetical. So say if the Packers win and the Bills win, the Bills can't run the ball. The Packers can't stop the run. They're pretty much set to stop the pass. Mm-hmm. So, to me, it's a horrible matchup for Buffalo. But you're still in the Super Bowl. Anything can happen. But
let's make it happen.
I was just thinking of it today. It's like they do not run the ball at all.
And the Chiefs aren't great at running the ball either. I mean, they were okay this last week.
They had Noah Allaire, though. He was out. And Allaire's decent. Le'Veon Bell, I think they made a mistake of signing him. He has done nothing for them.
Yeah.
I like Damian Williams. Damian Williams started. So real quick, one thing I saw this week is pretty interesting. This is the starting team, and it is bench play. I'll just talk about starting team. This is the team this year you could actually fit under the cap and have as a team. The perfect team this year you would have. This would be your team. Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf. Those are your skill players. Travis Kelce would be on that team also. Those are guys who can fit in the cap.
Really?
Yes. TJ Watt would be, Aaron Donald would be there. Quentin Williams would be there. Also, Bobby Wagner would be on that team. Fred Warner. Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey would be part of that team.
How is this possible?
It's all fit in the cap. Micah Fitzpatrick would be on the team, and Budda Baker would be part of the team. And you have bench players too. Ryan Fitzpatrick, your backup. Jonathan Taylor would be on the team. Gus Edwards, James Robinson. You'd have Justin Jefferson. It's crazy when you see what you can fit in the cap if you had the right rookie numbers.
Yeah,
and all that.
but you got to remember their punter's going to suck.
Nope, their punter is Jake Bailey from the Patriots, and he punted a lot, so he's got a lot of leg in him. And their kicker would be Jason Sanders, who had a good year for the Dolphins. So, another thing before I go, I forgot to tell you,
and that's still less talent than Tampa brought in this year.
The stat that broke my heart this weekend when they flashed Cody Parkey's career postseason kicks, it was 5 for 6 in the playoffs and field goals.
Wow,
that's awesome. Good stuff, douchebag. So let's end the show with our usual. Any closing thoughts, Willie?
Looking forward to the games this weekend. Obviously, that's all I got.
Well, I hate to get political, but has anybody looked into the greatest threat to our freedom in America? There's a group of powerful lobbyists in our nation's capital who are feeding our politicians large piles of cash under the table in exchange for influence. It has even trickled down to our small-town America and our local sports programs. The trophy makers lobby needs to be stopped at all cost. They have been trying to make everyone a winner for decades to create a huge appetite for trophies, thus creating extreme profits for the companies involved. I personally know a trophy maker. He profited so much that he took his family to Florida last year. Just imagine that.
Who's the trophy maker?
I don't know.
All right, Ed, listen closely, okay? One day, we will learn that the heart can never be totally right when the head is totally wrong.
That's what she said.
Martin Luther King Jr.
See, he was doing that's what she said back then?
I guess they were. Steve Carell is a funny guy.
He really was a funny guy.
So, thanks, guys. Once again, playoffs this weekend. NFC Championship, 2 o'clock. I believe 2 o'clock on Fox on Sunday. And then right after that, you're going to get the AFC with the Bills and KFC. The Bills and KC.
Finger looking good.
That's what she said.
So once again, we got the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. Stay healthy and wash your hands.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Oh, Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Fiona says she's out shopping, but she's under me and I'm not stopping. 'Cause Scotty doesn't know, Scotty doesn't know, Scotty doesn't know, Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty, Scotty doesn't know. so cool when you're on top. His front lawn in the snow, laughing so hard 'cause Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know.